right when you're putting the insulin in. Love it.
I know, dude. This is just my life. This is what I have to do.
Yeah. Do you do it how many times a day?
Usually before meals, and if I need to like correct something, like sometimes I'll eat and I'll forget to take insulin, and then I'll just have to just do it to kind of compensate.
Is there a way to eat without any sugar in your food where you don't even have to use it?
Sometimes, yeah. Like if I'm eating mostly like meat or cheese, stuff that doesn't really have like a lot of carbohydrates in it, that type of stuff I can kind of get away with. Which is why like I try to stay away from like carbs, processed sugar, stuff like that, because that stuff will just fucking spike it immediately.
Just spike it. Do you have a way of like the little thing that monitors it on your? People have it on their belly or something.
I do. Look, you called it. Yeah, I got a little Dexcom right here.
Yeah.
It looks gross, but it's just it just happens. It's just the adhesive.
It's like a Band-Aid or something.
It is. Yeah, it's like a clear Band-Aid. This is what the underside of a Band-Aid would look like if it was clear.
So that just goes into your body.
Yeah, it's like a little kind of like trigger system. You kind of like stick it, boop, goes in, and then it's like a very thin needle with a tube wrapped around it.
Is it like a pager where it like makes a noise when?
Well, the device itself doesn't make a noise. This is just a transmitter, so it's just essentially transmitting that data to my phone, and then my phone will make really annoying noises.
Oh, and it gives you a text like, "Hey, dude, I got you."
Yeah. It's like, "Hey, dumbass, your blood sugar's high."
Really, a second donut?
That'd be, dude. Honestly, like if they mix like AI with this kind of shit, I think that'd be awesome. Like,
yeah.
You're like, "Hey, retard, what the fuck are you eating?"
Yeah. It's fucking with you all day. Dang, that's tough. I don't eat a lot of sugar in general, but when I do, I notice I just get really tired. Like rice fucks me up bad.
Really?
Yeah.
How much rice are you eating?
I eat a pretty good amount of rice, but when I eat rice, immediately I'm like, I just get tired.
It hits you quickly, huh?
Hits me quick. But I think it's just because I just don't eat a lot of sugar in general. So when I do have it, it's like, whoa, it really hurts me. Like even a soda will just knock me on my ass. I'll be tired.
Yeah, dude. And that's kind of like I try to use this as like an analogy when I'm explaining like how it feels to like have high blood sugars. Like you remember like when you were a kid and like Halloween, you eat like a bunch of candy and then feel like shit for the next few hours. It's like that, except immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, because like in a regular person's like biology, your your pancreas will produce insulin as soon as you eat something. And that makes it so that, yeah, it might go high for a little bit. And that's essentially what the sugar crash is. It's when your blood sugar skyrockets, but it never lasts too long because eventually your body will just level it out and you'll be back where you're supposed to be. For me,
right,
it'll stay high until I give myself insulin. And then it's just leads to all sorts of other problems like urination, nerve damage, not like frequent urination, I'd say, because your body is trying to flush the excess sugar out of your bloodstream. So it does that by like kind of using the water to take out the excess.
You're right.
So you get like super dehydrated and you end up just like wasting like electrolytes and stuff. It's a whole thing. I've been diabetic for like 14 years, so I know how to, survive with it. It's not like something that kills you right away. It's something that as you approach like the later parts of your life, if you don't take care of yourself, it'll really fuck you up.
That's interesting about so nerve damage. How does that happen?
So the way I kind of describe it is when you have all that like sugar like coursing throughout your bloodstream, it kind of like eats away at the inside of your blood vessels a little bit. It's not supposed to be there for too long. And normally what insulin does is it allows the sugar to be absorbed into your blood cells. But if it can't be absorbed into your blood cells, then it causes problems. So, like, for example, like a lot of people who have been diabetic for a long time, that's why you'll see, like, especially like fat people or old people with like amputations and stuff. Like they'll lose like a toe, a leg, their dick sometimes. It's like a lot of...
Because it's the appendage and it like builds up there. Is that kind of what happens?
Yeah, because it's like the further away from your sensor mass like your appendages are, then the further that blood has to travel. So you need to have good blood circulation. And
right.
If over the years, because your blood vessels are taking that damage, they'll constrict, which allows for just like less blood flow to those areas. So yeah, it can be a bitch, which is why I have to exercise like at least like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah, man.
Even if
it's
it's
like
just
you're going
walking.
to space or something. You got to keep your body in shape. That's nuts. Yeah, because then the heart beating would make it stronger and get the blood to those areas, so you don't get that nerve damage. That makes sense. That's crazy. You said 14 years. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. So 14. What happened?
Well, I don't think it was a cause and effect thing, but I have
Yeah.
a theory. So, because I'm type 1 diabetic, and type 2 is what a lot of people, especially comedians, would call like your fault diabetes, because
Right.
that's when you just eat all this excessive processed bullshit.
Type 2 is your fault, right?
Yes.
And then type 1 is what you have?
Type 1, yeah. Type 1 is juvenile diabetes, which is a genetic disorder. So, so yeah, with type 2, it's like if you just eat really badly, usually it happens in like fat people. What happens is eventually your pancreas is unable to keep up with your sugar,
intake, yeah.
So your pancreas starts to like produce less insulin, and in some cases stop completely.
But then type 1 is it just fucked up for whatever reason?
Yeah, type 1 is just like it just kind of shuts off.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's been something just more than anything. Like I was mentioning before, something that's just really annoying and inconvenient because it just because I had it when I was a teenager. I was 14 or so. That's when I got diagnosed, and it really fucked with like my hormonal development, and just like I was already a very emotional child. So like when your blood sugar is like high, it literally makes you extremely irritable. So I was like I was not liked in my family because
really?
I was so explosive and impulsive, and I was the kind of kid where like I would be a total dickhead to you, and then I would cry because you were upset at me. That's like how fucked up my hormones
But you
were.
seem aware. When did you kind of kick that?
I kind of kicked that honestly like when I was like early 20s. That's when I started to realize, okay, wait, I started going to therapy. So I was like, oh shit, okay, there's a biological element, but there's also, a lot of the shit that I had to deal with growing up
Right.
that kind of made me into who I am. But the first thing I had to do is like take accountability for the things that I've done. And, I just kind of felt like a victim. And when you feel like a victim for a long time, you can lash out at people that care about you and mistreat people just because you're not satisfied with some aspect or how you're being treated.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you a rationalization to treat people the way that may be wrong because you think that you're being wronged even more or something like that. Yeah, I get that.
It gives you like this sense of entitlement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no one can be as hurt as much as I have been, so I can hurt people some, something like that.
Yeah, it was a really, really stupid, selfish way to think. I like I said, I went to therapy for like 2 years, and I did a lot of like reading on just like kind of like sociological stuff and like psychology. And I was like, okay, so I'm kind of starting to understand why I am this way, but I don't want to be this way. So literally what ended up happening was because it was just like a lot of mistreating people and kind of feeling entitled. I hurt a lot of people, especially like women that I was like dating and stuff, because I was just kind of like a brat. I was super entitled. I felt like shit constantly. I didn't realize this until my early 20s that because my blood sugar was out of control for the first like 8 years of me having diabetes. And
you weren't managing it at all?
I was not managing it well at all. I was like, my blood sugar
Were you using insulin and all that?
I was, but the thing is that I was just like a regular fucking just like stupid angsty teenager who didn't give a fuck. I was super rebellious, and like there was literally points in my life where I was like, I can ignore this. This doesn't matter. But it definitely does, and it definitely did.
And it came out in the form of like how you treated people, basically.
Yeah, because I was sick all the time. Like I was irritable. I felt like shit. I would literally like be up like multiple nights a week, like 3, 4 in the morning, just puking because my blood sugar was so high. And like I said, like peeing. That's one way to get it out.
So puke is another way.
Yeah. Well, The thing is, and a lot of people, this is not like, surface level information that a lot of people don't know about diabetes, but insulin literally has an enzyme in it that helps you digest food. So if your blood sugar is high, your body literally cannot absorb nutrients. So I would go on like these like just eating benders, just eating like fucking shit, like fucking cakes and food and all this shit, because the signal that your stomach sends to your brain when your energy is low is, oh, I need to eat. But when you're diabetic, your energy can be low for a number of reasons. It can be because you get sugar fatigue from having really high blood sugar, or on the flip end, it could be because you need carbs in order to bring your blood sugar up. Both of those things send the same signal to your brain.
Right.
So even if it's high or low, your brain's getting the signal, oh, we need to eat. We need to eat. So when your blood sugar is high for days, you're just eating nonstop.
Damn, it's a vicious circle.
It's a very vicious circle. Dang. Yeah. You're eating nonstop, and you can't the only way to it's hard to keep like a rational mentality when your blood sugar is high like that all the time. Like, and also I wasn't absorbing any nutrients, so I was like this unhealthiest I'd ever been. I didn't think I was unhealthy.
What happened in therapy that they just swung this sucker around, dude? This guy's a fucking miracle worker. Yeah.
I'll get into that.
Yeah.
Get into that next. I went to hypnotherapy for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to know about that.
Yeah, hypnotherapy was very, very interesting. But this last thing I wanted to say about the diabetes shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a vicious cycle of just high blood sugar, nonstop eating, and I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been in my life. Like, I was same height as I am now, about 6'1", and I was like 170 pounds, which is an unhealthy weight for somebody that large. Like, and I had fat on my body, don't get me wrong, but I was probably eating like 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day.
It's wild.
And absorbing none of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah.
Can't even imagine those poops.
Dude, I was pooping all the time.
Dude, I bet, man. That's wild.
You know what I used to do? So when I was around that time, I was really into like Call of Duty and stuff. So
Yeah.
I would take like the fastest shits ever in between games, like in the free game lobby. It's like, all right, I got 2 minutes. I just fucking run to the bathroom and shit. And I would usually make it in time.
After every game, your buddies were like, damn, you get to shit a lot, dude.
Yeah, I mean, even
crazy.
nowadays, I shit a lot. But like, I was almost like, I felt like I was setting records. So
Yeah.
if I had a different mentality
You're like,
about
this is
it.
kind of impressive, actually. That's crazy.
Then my friends would spend like, they'd go like, oh, I got to take a shit. And they spend like 30, 40 minutes in the toilet. Dude, what the fuck are you doing, man?
You're
dude,
like, you were spending 30 minutes?
no. I was like 2 minutes.
Oh, you're a squat and run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's two different styles of doing it. People who are just doing it like a quick burst and then every like couple, hours or so. And then people that take a solid 45 minutes. The 45 is not good though. That's how you get hemorrhoids.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can imagine. Now I take longer shits now, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, this is not a good thing that
No, it's
my
not
asshole
good.
is just stretched open,
Yeah.
just hanging out here,
It's not good. I have been guilty of that too, man. I am definitely like on my phone while I'm pooping, and I'll pass like 20 minutes, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, this is not."
I mean, I'll get stuff done, dude. Like on my phone, and I'm pooping. Like I've gotten in trouble a lot, like especially at work for being in the bathroom for too long.
Yeah.
So I'll spend like 10 to 15 minutes in there, and then I'll go maybe like 5 or 6 times
What do you
during
do
the
for work?
shift. I work NADC burgers, so I'm like,
NADC.
yeah. We do the Wagyu smash burgers.
Oh, like a hot dotty?
What?
You know what a hot dotty is?
No. What's
It's
that?
like the Austin local burger. They don't do a smash burger though, but they have like fancy burgers.
Well, the
But,
burgers. It's like it's a $17 burger.
Damn.
It's like literally like 6 ounces of meat.
NADC? Dude, I've never heard of this. It's in town?
Yeah. They have. We have 2 locations. One right now. 2 locations. One on East 6th Street by the kind of little past the bridge, and another one at Idle Hands on West 6th Street.
Right here?
No, not Idle Hands. Sorry, Parlor and Yard.
This one here?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and they just opened one in Soho.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
NADC.
It's a pretty good burger. Personally, I'm sick of it, but it's a good burger.
I mean, if you work there, I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah. Also, just like the amount of calories that are packed into that burger is insane.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at, I looked into it. It's like 1,200 calories for just the burger.
A burger like that, though, not a lot of sugar in that. It's got to be pretty good, right? I mean, the bun maybe has some, right? But
I usually skip out on like the carb part of it, like the bun or the fries.
Right.
But it's also like, so you're looking at your two 3-ounce patties, which Wagyu beef is very fatty. So a lot of calories in that. I think there's like 600 or 700 calories in that alone. Another like 180 in the bun, plus like pickles, jalapenos, and like just this mayo ketchup sauce that we use. Like it's just, yeah, it definitely passes 1,000 calories in just the burger. If you get the burger and fries, like if you're like trying to do a calorie deficit, that's your whole meal for the day. That's it, dude.
Usually, sometimes I go to McDonald's, and when I do, I'm like, this is probably my only meal today, just because it's a nuke in your body, and it's just, and I feel like putting anything else on top of that is just piling on.
It definitely is, man. Like, and the thing is that a lot of these, especially fast food, I try not to do fast food. Like, I haven't had McDonald's in a couple of weeks, but a lot of these fast foods, or most of them, I would say, they have these like preservatives and this like very addictive chemicals that they mix into the meat and stuff. And it just, it's the craziest thing. Like literally you'll eat until you're full, and then like an hour later, you'll start craving
You want more.
Something.
That's the shit. Like Gatorade is one of them too. Like all of these companies caught on to the fact that it's like, hey, if we just make them want more, then they'll probably come back. It's such a sick. It's
like a strictly American thing, dude.
I know.
It's insane.
And no one else is doing that. No one else is like, what if we sprinkle some bullshit into this burger to make them hungry again? That's an insane thing that only we are doing here. It is weird, like a capitalist weirdness that we do.
For sure. It's kind of like when people used to do like lemonade stands and they would mix salts into the lemonade.
Exactly.
So that they would dehydrate you and you'd buy more lemonade.
Same
it's
thing
like
with
that.
Gatorade.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Gatorade is very salty.
Very salty.
That's where it gets the electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
They balance out the saltiness with the sugar. So you're like, this doesn't taste like juice, so it must be good for me.
Because you want another one. I think the same, that, and this is kind of a stretch out, but another one is vapes. I feel like is the same kind of principle.
Well, I mean, that's just straight up nicotine. I don't know what else they're putting in vapes that could enhance the addictiveness, but nicotine itself is very addictive. I mean, look, I'm fucking sucking on a rogue right now.
Yeah.
I'm very casually addicted to nicotine, though.
Is that like a Zyn?
Yeah. These are, there's just another fucking cheap fucking pouch.
I'm scared of the Zyns, man. Those things terrify me.
Do you smoke or anything?
I'll smoke a cigarette when I'm drunk, but I will not.
Shit, it's different, man.
Yes, but any other time, and I mean, and I drink. Like I'm a pretty good, like I drink, but I'll only smoke when I drink. And because it was a while where I was smoking a little bit too much. I started smoking a few times a week, which is a lot for me. And I actually caught bronchitis. And then my doctor was like, you have chronic bronchitis. You have bronchitis forever now. Yeah. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, from smoking. And I was like, damn, I guess I just went off too hard for a couple weeks.
So that's something you're dealing with now?
Yeah, I have an inhaler now.
Oh,
and like
fuck.
it comes and goes. I'll get inflamed sometimes when I'm eating food. Like sometimes just hot food will like make me cough. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this is just like a bullshit problem that I got to deal with now. You got to go from the top arm and then bend it down if you...
There we go. Okay, nice.
But yeah, but I'll still smoke one every now and then. Not gonna lie.
Dude, I can't. I don't blame you, man. It's
yeah.
I probably have like 2 to 5 cigarettes a week, which isn't that bad. Like I've been trying really hard to kind of
cut it back.
Yeah, because especially as a diabetic, this is like I should not be smoking anything.
Does it make it worse?
Well, it's a matter of like certain chemicals. They like I was saying before, blood flow is like the most important thing. If your organs aren't getting or extremities aren't getting blood, then they will start to die. They need oxygen. They need blood. So the thing is that stuff like nicotine and Adderall, most things that are stimulants, with the exception of like caffeine, are what they call vasoconstrictors.
Oh, so they restrict blood flow
Exactly.
in your body.
Yeah. So they tighten up your blood vessel, and if your blood vessels are tighter, then your body parts are getting less blood.
Or getting less blood, which is exactly what you do not want. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, then that sounds like alcohol is good for you then. Because I think alcohol is the opposite. I forgot the
because you're thinking of you're thinking I guess in like a blood pressure kind of way.
Yes.
Because I think alcohol lowers your blood pressure.
Yeah, I guess that is separate than vasoconstricting. It's not even the same realm, is it?
It's like it's kind of adjacent. The things kind of like go hand in hand, but they're not. Yeah, they're not exactly the same.
Okay.
But then like stuff like caffeine.
I just do a major blood thinner. Yeah. I was like, maybe that helps. I don't know, but yeah, caffeine doesn't.
So caffeine's generally pretty good for you. It's like especially if you're like, oh, I need some kind of stimulant in order to be focused or wake up or whatever the case. Caffeine is probably like one of the healthiest alternatives just because it's actually a vasodilator.
You're shelling caffeine?
Dude, I used to take caffeine pills.
Oh, really?
I would say I got real addicted to caffeine pills. I would take like...
Why not just coffee? Because of sugar?
Well, no.
You don't like your coffee black?
No. I have no problem with black coffee. I drink black coffee, iced black coffee most of the time. But it's just that the caffeine pills are just so easy to ingest. You know, like I don't like when if I'm consuming something for the sake of like it giving me a boost or some kind of benefit, I'd rather take it like a drug than like a meal or a beverage.
That.
You know
that
what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like I'd rather just pop it one and done.
Probably cheaper too.
You can get like a bottle of like fucking 300 caffeine pills. Each one's 200 milligrams of caffeine for like $20 or $30.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because I was doing comedy full time when I first moved here, and so like all my nights were late nights, and then I would work like fucking 5 a.m. as a brunch server, and I would need that fucking energy.
Yeah.
So I would just like take. And by the way, 200 milligrams of caffeine, that's about 2 cups of coffee. So each one of those pills was 2 cups of coffee. There would be mornings where I would take like 6 of them and then just start my day.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's not. I'm a bit of an extremist when it comes to...
I am getting that sense.
People tell me that...
How many melatonins you take when you go to bed? That's the question.
Usually I'll just take half or one, honestly, like if it's like the gummies, just because if I take a full one, I'll be groggy and I'll oversleep, but a half one will put me asleep enough that I'll get a good night's rest.
I take 2. That's the way I have to do it. I have really hard time sleeping, hence the videos online, and that is like melatonin. I'll have like a cocktail I'll make sometimes where it's a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of flu medicine, and then like some melatonin. Because that shit just knocks me out.
Wow, dude, you're using fucking lean as a sleep aid? That's cool. You calling it a cocktail? Dang, it's classy, dude.
Hey, I got to do what I got to do to fall asleep, man. Otherwise, that's why like I don't like caffeine. I had an espresso martini the other day. Fucked me up. I couldn't sleep. I was like, that's the number one thing I hate about any drug is if I can't go to sleep, I hate it. Adderall, caffeine, cocaine, anything like that, absolutely not. Because I hate that feeling of being awake, kind of when you're sleeping. You know, where you kind of wake up in mid sleep and you're still kind of like, I'm not quite all the way in there. I need to get in the pocket of REM.
Oh, dude, I hardly ever get REM sleep, dude.
Yeah,
which is probably why I look so exhausted all the time. Because this is what I tell myself. So like, because sometimes I'll take Adderall at like 8 p.m. and then that'll keep me up.
That's not good.
It's not great, but I see because I can rest my body and rest my eyes without actually falling asleep.
Yeah, that's the feeling I hate though.
Yeah, no, it's not perfect. I can literally just lay down for like 6 hours, still conscious, but resting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm sure that stuff has a toll, you know, because like if you can't rest your mind, you'll eventually start to go crazy. But I have really active dreams. You know what I mean?
The way you said that, I'm sure that's gonna take a toll at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean though. There are moments where you just sort of you're just laying down and you're kind of aware of time passing and you're aware that you're being restful, but you're not asleep. You know what I mean? You're not knocked out. You're not dreaming or anything. I heard this story of this lady who was like on a 34-hour hike, didn't sleep or something. I don't know. It was longer than that probably. And at one point, she was like, I need to take a minute's rest. And she told her partner that was with her, like, only let me sleep for 1 minute. And she was out for a minute, and the partner woke her up. And she was like, how, you let me sleep for longer? She goes, no, you were out for a minute. She goes, oh my God. And she said after that 1 minute of sleep, it made her feel so rested. And she thought she was asleep for like 8 hours. That's how exhausted her body was, how much it needed that.
I've definitely experienced that before, dude. Where I wake up and like, you know, it's a fun feeling when you go to sleep at like 4 a.m, you gotta wake up for work.
Yeah.
And you wake up at like 6 feeling rested, and immediately because you feel rested, you're just like panicking, like fuck, what time is it? Especially if if my alarm doesn't go off or I can't find my phone.
Yes.
It's the first like 2 minutes of me waking up after sleeping for like an hour is just me panicking.
Yes, dude, 100%. You're like, what the fuck? I should not feel this good.
Yeah, smoking helps a little bit. Like smoking weed, that helps me.
Smoking weed helps.
Like even if I only get like 4 hours of sleep, as long as it's not like a heavy indica that's gonna fuck me up, make me groggy. It usually makes me feel like well rested, even if I'm getting like less sleep. Mm-hmm. So you said you don't really mess with stimulants then, right?
I don't do stimulants. I don't even smoke weed, dude. Like really, my drug of choice is just alcohol. Like I'll drink. I got some alcohol over there. I mean, I'll drink whiskey, vodka. I like a liquor. I don't really drink beer just because it kind of makes me feel, again, grogginess and heavy.
It's because of all the carbs.
Yeah, it's just so heavy.
Yeah, the way you process carbs is interesting. You have a very low tolerance for carbs.
I think that might be what it is. Because when I drink a bunch of beer, I just get sleepy and I just don't feel very good. But if it's just liquor, I feel like I got the buzz and I'm like, that's perfect. I like that.
But you must love vodka then. I fucking love vodka.
Oh,
dude.
I think vodka's great. And people say like, oh, I hate vodka. It's because they're drinking vodka alone. Vodka's great because you can put it in anything. And that thing is now amazing. That's the beauty of vodka.
Dude, I'm a straight vodka soda guy.
Yeah, vodka soda. I'll do gin too. I like gin.
Gin has I have not been able to truly appreciate and enjoy gin because it has like this weird kind of sour, bitter kind of flavor.
Someone told me it tastes like drinking perfume.
I could see that. Yeah. Like if you accidentally tasted perfume before.
Yeah.
I could see that.
It's like, what? There are some good gins, but I would never. I mean, there are times where I'm like, yeah, gin and tonics just sounds solid. I don't know. There's always a moment where I'm like, that sounds perfect right now. But generally speaking, yeah, vodka soda or whiskey soda is always another one that I love.
I love whiskey, but the calories. I try to just do vodka because it's lower calorie. It doesn't really affect my blood sugar.
Whiskey's heavier for sure. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and I feel the same way though about like beers and stuff. I don't really do beers unless the person I'm with is drinking a beer.
Yeah,
and I'll get a beer too, just to kind of when I'm doing any kind of like substance with somebody, I like to be able to level with the people I'm hanging out with.
Exactly. That's a good. You got to read the room. Yeah.
yeah. It's like I'm not gonna, like if we're hanging out and you're doing mushrooms, I'm not just going to be like, I'll just do coke and then we'll
just be on two fucking worlds.
We'll just mingle from two planes of existence.
It's interesting with beer. Like I'll drink a super light beer, super light, or I love Guinness and like heavy dark beers. Like,
oh, you're like a fucking IPA guy, huh?
No, I hate IPAs.
IPAs are disgusting.
IPAs are in the middle, and I don't
like
like
IPAs.
them. But a Guinness, I think, is just so good. It's just so amazing. Maybe it's because I'm Irish.
It's like
I don't
bitter.
know.
It's a little creamy, right?
It's creamy. Yeah, it's like a treat. It's amazing.
It's like a treat.
And then a light beer, I just feel I don't get groggy because it's light enough that I'm like, all right, I can drink this all day and feel fine.
Yeah, because light beers are just watered down beers.
Yeah, I love that.
Which I mean, I like them in some places. Like some cases, like I love Dos Equis.
Yeah,
Dos Equis is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. There's this one called 8. I think it's made by I think he's a football player. I don't fucking know.
8.
Yeah. I forget who it is, but
I like Modelo. That's kind of a good one.
Modelo's, I like Modelo. And any like Mexican beer is usually
Mexican,
pretty good.
Pacifico,
like Coronas, Pacifico, yeah.
Corona, great. On the domestic ones, I like Coors. Coors Light is good. Coors Banquet is good.
I haven't had Coors Banquet. But yeah, most beers are the same to me. I used to be a huge Blue Moon guy. I fucking love Blue Moon.
Yeah, that was one of the first beers I ever had.
They don't really have Blue Moon out here.
They do. They actually had a lot. I don't see it as much anymore, though. When like 10 years ago, because I've been here like 20 years, but 10 years ago, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Blue Moon. But I just feel like it kind of fell out of, fame. I don't know what happened. But I do remember, like, it used to be everywhere. But yeah.
I used to love the Blue Moon with the fucking orange slice. That was like a little treat.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an orange slice with a beer on the side is what that is.
Yeah, dude. And especially when they'll like some bars would give you just like a fucking big ass orange slice. Like some of them will give you like a tiny bit, like they're cutting like a lime.
Like on the commercial.
Yeah, no, like
big ass fucking.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it definitely complements it well. I'm not the kind of person who can like drink with a meal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I've never, because
I do wine. I could do that.
I like wine. Wine is awesome. Wine. Yeah, wine goes well with food because it's still it kind of almost like you can still feel it. For me, like if I drink like a beer and I'm eating, I don't even get drunk.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know?
I think if I'm having, I mean, I would agree with you. I don't really like ordering a drink while I'm eating. I like eating and then being like, let's get a drink. I like doing that order.
Yeah.
But if in the middle, it just feels like, what am I doing here? It just seems like you're wasting
even drinking a bunch and then eating.
That also is good.
That's also fun.
But at the same time, not quite. It's not quite there. I fucked myself up the other day. I had an espresso martini at this Italian place with my family for Father's Day. And that thing, I did exactly what I said I hated. I was drinking that while eating, and I was like, this is a terrible combo. I should have had this happen.
It ruined your food.
Yeah, I was like, this is so bad. But anyway, I wanted to keep leaning on the hypnotherapy. We got to go back to that.
Yeah, let's go into that.
Yeah.
So, one more question before we go into hypnotherapy. So, you don't really do stimulants or anything like that. Have you done many psychedelics?
Yeah, I've done acid. I've done mushrooms a bunch of times. I did acid once. What else have I done? Someone gave me DMT. I didn't even feel anything, though.
Dude, I did DMT, I think, twice. The first time I did it, and we did it wrong, by the way. There's a wrong way to do DMT, and the wrong way is, one of the wrong ways is to sprinkle it on top of a bowl of weed. That's not how you're supposed to do it.
And what happened?
Well, you just you lose some of the potency of it because you're burning it. It's supposed to just be like heated up. It's like steeping versus boiling. You know? So like when you're because you're supposed to basically hit it like it's a dab.
Oh, okay.
So you heat up the glass, you put the DMT in, it heats it up, but it doesn't like burn.
And then
it.
you smoke the fumes, kind of.
Exactly. And DMT has such a particular. I don't think there's many things that smell like DMT does. But yeah, the first time I did it, it wasn't like whoa, crazy, life changing. I can see God or whatever. It was just like I was just there like whoa. Just like for like 5 minutes, and then like I laid down on my back and I
Could
sat
you
back
even
up
describe
and
it?
went through a portal.
Could you even describe it?
Not really. I wanted to definitely like try it some more and dabble in it, but the second time I tried it, I was hitting like a DMT vape pen, and it was weird because like one of my friends, he would like hit it. He was like, "Dude, it's insane!" Like I took one hit, and it was like fucking. I saw all these crazy shapes and colors and shit. Meanwhile, then I finally got around to trying it. I took like 10 hits, and I was like, I just don't fucking feel anything, dude. But also, there came a point where I stopped being able to get visuals from psychedelics. I think I might have done too much of it when I was like 19 or 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to like trip like crazy.
And it rewired you?
It kind of felt like it did, yeah. Like nowadays, like when I take mushrooms or acid, like sometimes I'll get like, letters and stuff will look a little squiggly, but it's never anything intense no matter how much I take. And
mushrooms, I get the squiggly. Acid, I get a lot of the triangles and the shapes and all that. But yeah, like I said, the first time I did acid, it was a lot of shapes. I started seeing some crazy hallucinations too. There was a dog that we had in the house, and I remember walking by the dog, and I'm like, it's dying.
What the fuck?
And they were like, what? And I'm like, the dog is dying. Look, there's pee all over the floor. It peed on itself. And they were like, no, it's fine. And then they all started seeing what I'm seeing. They're like, oh my God, he's right. And then someone that was more sober walked by and this dog is fine. Look. And then they picked it up and like, he's fine. And I'm like, holy shit. And I don't know why I just had this vivid image of like, there's pee all over this dog and it's dying. And
oh wait, so you weren't the only one who was on acid?
no, there was several of us, but I like somehow was able to convince people like this dog is dying, and they started seeing what I was seeing. And then we were on the beach for a while. I remember seeing like volcanoes on the beach. I was like, this is just nuts. And that's the difference between acid and mushrooms for me, is that when I did acid, I felt like myself. I felt like I was thinking the way I always think. It's just everything around me was fucking insane. Whereas on mushrooms, I see a little bit of the visual craziness, but I'm thinking differently. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, oh my God, I've never realized this about myself or who I am or why I think this way. You know, I'm having more perspective on my life than when I was on acid. On acid, everything's just bananas. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I feel like mushrooms is one of those things that like helps you look inward, whereas acid, acid kind of makes you look outward a little bit. You're just looking at all the things that are around you. You notice how things move, how things work, and you kind of think about things externally, like the stuff that you visually experience and stuff like that. Where mushrooms for me is always like a very deeply emotional experience.
Yeah. Every time I leave a mushroom high, I'm like, I need to take that into my day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Those thoughts I had need to be used every day. I think it's good to do like every maybe year or so, just to get that step aside from your routine and to see yourself from like that outer perspective and go, holy shit, I've been doing this a lot and maybe I should work on that. I think that's a good moment to have.
It kind of teaches you to like, it kind of makes you like reset if you have like tunnel vision, if you're too locked into any particular way of thinking or feeling. It kind of helps you reset and kind of grounds you a little bit after the experience.
I think that's why people have bad trips too, is because they step outside and they see themselves and they go, holy shit, I'm terrible. And they really get afraid of how much truth of themselves they're seeing, and it kind of fucks them up. And that's like where the bad trip happens. But I think if you're in a pretty good place and then you take that outer body and you kind of can look at yourself and go, you're doing pretty good, work on this. You know what I mean? Then I think it's a good place to do it. But if you're already in a really bad spot, it's not going to be great. It's my impression of how that works.
Yeah, I've definitely taken psychedelics when I was not in a good mental space. And it was just,
and you're just like
a lot of crying and bullshit. But for acid, it feels more like a physical kind of high to me than mushrooms does. Mushrooms is very, very emotional. Like they're both kind of messing with your brain, but you can like when I'm on acid, I'll like pick up like my keys and I'll start like just
feeling it,
them, just feeling them. Just like without even like my body, it's just such an interesting feeling, textures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that is like I'm thinking of other shit, but I'm like, it's like. Like, have you ever seen somebody like completely just like rip apart an entire slice of pizza because they were on acid? No. And then it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like, oh.
I just like the feeling. I've never done this to pizza before.
Exactly.
Has anybody? It's like okay.
You don't try it. You should try it.
Dude, come rip this piece up. That's funny. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. I just haven't done any of those in a hot minute.
How long has it been?
Let's see. Last time I did mushrooms was probably like 6-7 years ago, something like that.
Oh wow!
I did a lot of it in college, and then we do it pretty often, and then I just stopped. But I don't know. I don't smoke weed or anything either. Like I'm a pretty low key guy when it comes to getting crazy. But I've tried everything. I'll try everything even once. I even like joke. I would probably try heroin once just to see, you know what I mean?
Just to see.
But some people, they freak me out because they say, like, you don't even want to do it once. That's how fucking good it is even one time you're fucked. And
It seems that way. I mean, so many people are addicted to it for a reason.
yeah, and I will say this: it wasn't a wisdom tooth, but it was like a floating tooth they had to pull out, and they gave me Vicodin for a week. Holy shit! I completely understand why people get addicted to that, because that was the best week of my life. And when it was over, I remember looking at that bottle being empty, and I was like, holy fuck. I really want more. And I was like, this is how it starts. This is scary. And so that's how the epidemic took off, is people got pills that they probably shouldn't have gotten, and then they just kept on fucking doing it. But Vicodin's scary. Heroin is scary. Luckily, I don't know anyone that does it that's offered. So
yeah, you gotta be in with an elite group of people to get access to that kind
the
of
top
drugs.
1%.
Yeah, you gotta find them. They usually don't just pop up.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny. Yeah.
But did you want to? Is there anything you wanted to know about the hypnotherapy thing specifically?
Yes, hypnotherapy. I just want to know: is it anything like Donnie Darko?
Can you elaborate on that?
Have you ever seen the movie?
I haven't.
Go watch that movie. So what I'm picturing is you're laying on a couch, and they're like, okay, soothing voices. I want you to visualize your mother. Something like that. And then they just keep that voice going, and then they do like a little countdown, like you're going to stand up in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Is it anything like that?
It's a lot like that.
Oh,
actually.
really?
It's not like as most of it. It's not so much of a physical activity as it is just. It's more like it's so for what I experienced, it was like we would get an hour or so of talk therapy, just kind of unpacking and getting stuff off your mind, kind of picking apart why you might feel a certain way about something. And then after the hour, then it would be like you said, where you would go into a state of hypnosis where you get like counted down. It's like, all right, pick a spot on the ceiling, and it could be any spot. If there's something that you notice that is just interesting to you, just focus on that spot, right? And now for the next, I'm going to count you down from 10 to 0. And when I hit 0, you'll go into deep sleep. And they teach you that going into deep sleep is just, you do your best to kind of relax your body and mind. Don't allow any thoughts that just pass through. And the whole point of it is to kind of listen to this, to the therapist kind of guide you along, but you're guiding the subconscious mind, so that you can kind of make better active decisions and just process things better. But for some people, it can be very fucking intense because everybody has a unique and kind of different level of suggestibility when it comes to hypnosis.
That's the perfect word, suggestibility, because it kind of reminds me of, you've seen those hypnosis acts that people do, like it's kind of like a stage act.
Yeah.
Where they go, okay, stand up. Now, look at me. And then they like, snap, you're asleep. You're asleep now. And the way I see it is, it seems to me that they're getting a bunch of different people on this panel, and then they're saying, who is the most suggestible person? And by suggestible, I mean, if I'm going to get in their face and like be snappy with them, they're just going to follow along because it's part of the show and they don't want to be like causing a scene. You know what I mean? So is it kind of along that realm where is it kind of along that realm? You know what I'm saying?
If you mean like, so the thing is that hypnosis is one of those things where it definitely does work, but there has to be a certain willingness and openness to it.
Cooperation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
she doesn't have power over you. You're basically cooperating.
Yeah, no, it's you're allowing yourself to be suggestible.
Yes.
To, like you're allowing like these, like you want to go along with it. You have to kind of accept the experience and go along with it. And then that's kind of how you get the most out of it. Like if you're somebody who's very closed-minded, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. This is stupid. I'm wasting my time. Then it might be harder to get you into that kind of state of hypnosis. But overall, it does different things for different people. It tends to do the most for people with like major psychiatric issues like schizophrenia, because they can't control their subconscious. So their subconscious is already very suggestible, but to maybe external and internal influence, that they can't like control. So doing something like that for them tends to be easier for them to get into it, and it tends to have greater results like long term. Like people who have like panic attacks or anxiety attacks, it just like it's a lot of breathing, focusing, and letting go. So yeah, it's a very fucking bizarre experience. Like I said, I did it for 2 years, and like I had been to like counselors.
Consistently?
Yeah, I was doing it like once a week for 2 years.
How do you think it helped? Like, in what way? Like, what are they suggesting during this process? I don't know if you even feel comfortable telling it is your therapy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I actually got my therapist actually broke up with me because I flaked too much. So that's a fun experience.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like wait, no, I need you. You know, it was my fault. I was very, very impulsive and irresponsible, and I would like reach out if I was having like a really bad day or kind of just going through something negative, and then I'd be like, hey, when's the next time we can like have a session? And then he'd make room for me, and then I would just forget. And it was like a Zoom thing, and he wasn't even like charging me either. So I wasn't a very good patient.
Yeah.
You know,
Doesn't
but
sound like
a lot of yeah, I live and I learn. You know, but it was
He was hypnotizing you through Zoom?
yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, look at the monocle or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
see, that's the disconnect, I guess. That's interesting. So in the session,
But they do something like this. They like the Zoom screen. They're just like try to just focus on my finger. Just keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on it, like that type of stuff. Because
it almost sounds like a meditation in a lot of ways.
It's literally just it's like a more intense, kind of specific, kind of guided meditation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like those. I listen to those online a lot. Just because a regular meditation, I think, is boring as hell. But when someone's giving you direction on like something mundane to focus on, so you don't drift on
It's
your
like,
thoughts.
oh, think of the trees and the wind and the sunset.
But here's the question: how does that help with? Was that supposed to help with diabetes, or was that supposed to help with your behavior?
It was supposed to help with my behavior and the way I perceived the people around me. Like once I started doing that, it was maybe like 2-3 months in, and I was having breakthroughs about how I was treating my best friends and my families and all that stuff. And like it was so wild that period of my life, because I had just gone through like a really bad breakup where I ended up cheating on the girl because it was, again, I was in this state of fucking woe is me. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm so hurt. You know, like if this person's not treating me right, then fuck them.
Right.
I should do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's a very selfish and kind of unhealthy way to see things. But yeah, I went through a really bad breakup. And after that experience, I started therapy. And it felt like the problem the biggest issue that I had was I didn't know how to continue to be myself without being an asshole. So for a while,
you created an identity.
Yes, I created an identity of being a fucking asshole. So for a long time, I didn't know how to be myself without being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it felt like I just completely
That reminds me of someone.
completely reset my personality almost.
Yeah, it reminds me of a friend of mine who has said the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. He said the exact same thing. And he went to therapy and he was like, I created a personality about being an asshole. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And now you're saying that too. It's interesting.
It's because you associate certain feelings with certain actions. Like me, I was being an asshole all the time, but really I just wanted to be funny. I wanted to be smart and I wanted to be funny. And a lot of the things I would say, even like when I first started doing comedy, they tend to lean more towards mean-spirited than actually clever or funny, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting how there's a spectrum. It's like a Venn diagram, you know? Comedy is in the center. That's the thing that we all want to hit.
Yeah.
But then there's like lame, there's stupid, and then there's mean, you know? And it's somewhere
like lame, stupid, mean. And yeah, you gotta be somewhere, and there's like actual like being creative.
Yeah, exactly. But there's somewhere in the middle of all that is comedy, that little sweet spot that you're trying to hit. But if you just keep landing in mean, it's like, oof.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are very funny and very mean, but if there's, I think the best way to be is to have some form of duality. You know, I think duality is something that people like to be around. If you are too much of one thing, then people will get bored of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're always an asshole and there's no redeeming qualities about you, people aren't going to want to be around you. On the flip side, if you're always super nice and sweet and you have like no spine or there's no edge to you or there's just nothing more to you,
Yeah.
it's not interesting.
It's not interesting. I think that's the sweet spot of asshole is kind of like a Tony Starkish kind of thing, where you want to be the guy that's the asshole, but you're saying the thing that everybody else is thinking, and it's actually better that you said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be the guy that's saying what everyone's thinking, but it didn't need to be said. You know, that's the kind of the line with the asshole thing.
You need to learn how to show some restraint with your words. That's one thing I also learned was
because hurting someone for no benefit is not good.
Yeah, I was very impulsive. I would just say what I thought immediately, and then for a while I thought, you know, I don't give you. I say what's on my mind, But yeah, okay, good for you. You're a piece of shit for doing that. You know what I mean?
It's like House. You ever seen House?
Yeah, I've seen House.
I love House, but sometimes he's a good example of this actually, because he'll say things that are just plain mean for no benefit, but he also does a great job of being the guy that will say the thing that's mean, but because he knows that in the long run there's a good benefit there, or there's something insanely funny about saying it. That's kind of the sweet spot. That's why I'm scared of roast battles. Do you do roast battles?
I actually was going to bring that up. So I am not good at roast battle.
Really?
I've done. I did one roast battle league thing. First one I did was in New York a couple months ago, and I came out. I thought I was gonna fucking cook this guy, dude. I had like the meanest like personal shit, but the problem is that it was more mean than it was clever. It was like there was no balance, so it was just like
so
I just
funny.
looked like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I lost that battle. You know what? I lost that battle, and it was very humbling though. It was very humbling. I lost that battle, and I was saying all kinds of fucked up stuff, and he literally said. So I made a joke about this when my friends,
give me a taste. I want to hear one of these suckers.
And I'm just paraphrasing, but fucking I made a joke about one of my friends, and because he was like in an abusive relationship with this Latina chick. So I said it was this, and even looking back, it was not that clever, but I said oh, my friend recently got out of a relationship with an abusive Latina woman. He told me to get ice, but I thought he meant an ice pack, something like that. Which is like, oh, haha, but it's not like,
yeah.
It was more just like, oh wow, you fucking just you just put this guy on the spot like
He's
that.
put this dude
for
on blast.
Like Jesus Christ, and then fucking he ended up winning the battle. And don't get me wrong, we both did not do well.
Right,
But
right.
he did a little better than me.
Everyone in the audience is like, damn, these guys just hate each other.
The thing is that he's such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And I was just being so mean to him. But yeah,
That's
fucking
so
I think
hard.
so in response to that, he was like, this guy likes to abuse meatball subs. Killed. Fuck, I was so mad.
Yeah, because you were being mean, and then he quipped back with something that was related to that and at least decent. You know what
silly.
I mean?
It was so silly, and
Yeah.
like silly can destroy me,
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Silly destroys mean for sure. It's rock, paper, scissors right
It
there.
really is, dude.
Yeah, because mean met with just indifference and goofiness is hilarious. It's like, that's so funny.
Because indifference and goofiness is just hilarious in general. But if you're gonna be mean, you need to be it needs to be clever, but there also needs to be an element of silliness to it. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny. I was talking about this with Brian, and he was talking about his last roast battle, and he goes, I was telling him, like, I don't think I'd be good at it. He goes, I think you would. And I was like, what? And he goes, I think your problem, you're going to tell people that you're scared to do it because you don't want to get roasted, But he's like, but I think what's actually going on is you're scared that you're going to say some shit that's so mean that it's going to make you look like an asshole. And I'm like, fuck, that might be true. I think that might be true, dude.
I mean, dude, I want to do roast battle again really badly, but I want to make it a point to like study roasting and kind of understand it more before I do, because I think I have the potential to be really good at it. It's just like I'm extremely unpolished when it comes to roasting. I know how to be mean, but like I said, I got to find that line between mean and silly and clever or whatever. And it just takes practice and studying. You know, that's why I try to go to Banana Phone as much as possible because it's such a fun show. I like going there and just thinking of stuff, I would say, because it trains you to kind of like
on the spot.
Yeah, it trains you to be on. And I've gotten like pretty fucking good at being funny, like on the spot, which I'm proud of. But it's just because at Gnar Bar, I do so much crowd work. And it's a room that's kind of built for that. You can see everybody clearly. It's a small, intimate enough setting where everybody can see each other. It's not like a huge room where people, like if I'm doing crowd work to the front row, the people all the way in the back aren't going to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
When it's good in there, it's really good. It's really good.
And I think, you know, for what it's worth, it's consistently a good room. It's just definitely has its highs and lows, because sometimes you'll have a packed out audience there and they will just not give a fuck.
Yeah.
They'll be talking to each other. They'll be rowdy or fucking hectic and disruptive.
Yeah.
Or they just won't laugh. They'll just look at you.
Yeah.
Like I've had crowds that stay there.
You're going to get that anywhere, I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But it happens a lot. Well, maybe because I'm doing it every day. That's why it's like it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have like packed out room of like 30 to 40 people, and they'll stay for most of the show, but they just won't laugh.
They won't laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. I saw these. I was there the other day, and I remember there was this couple. They were there for like 2 hours, and they're like visiting Austin. They have drinks. They're getting more drinks. Not laughing at all the whole time. Just. And everyone's going, are you guys enjoying like the show? Like, what's going on with you guys? Like trying to, poke them to see what's up. And they're like, And it's wild to me that these people aren't going to be like, should we leave? You know what I mean? Like they're just prisoners there or something. I don't know what's going on. But sometimes people just don't leave and they'll just watch the whole thing for hours. And it's like, that's crazy. And that happens anywhere too. Like you'll see that anywhere. Like at Lucky Duck or at Lucky Duck, they just start talking. But that's always a weird phenomenon to see.
Lucky Duck. The thing is, Lucky Duck is such a big open space that they can feel like, oh, I can have a conversation. I'm so far from them. They're not even going to notice.
That's exactly right.
You know, when in Gnar Bar, though, I've started going up to people and been like, hey, there's a show going on. You're being a little disruptive. And then they'll apologize and they'll start paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, which it's helped a lot. But yeah, I mean, I've walked full rooms before because they didn't like something that I said. Literally, the worst time it's ever been was like a month and a half ago. I was literally closing out the show. Yeah. And I had done like a couple other spots that night, and I just showed up at the end. Full fucking crowd. I was so excited to go up. First joke I opened with, fucking molestation joke. This whole group, they were all together. It was a big group. They walked out fucking single file. It was like a centipede, and they all just left.
He had a fucking conga line out.
It was crazy, dude. Literally every single person. No, I wasn't even 2 minutes into my set.
That's amazing. All the other comics must have been like, yo.
Dude, it was so crazy and so bad that I was fucking laughing about it. Like, this is insane.
That's almost impressive to get a whole room to leave. That's a merit
all
badge.
together at the same time, single file. Mm-hmm. Not even like a crowd like that was like slowly like dissipating as they went towards the door. They like lined up and left, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, well, I guess the show's over now.
Oof. What was the joke?
Fucking, which one was it? It's this one I've been opening with here and there. It's weird to open with a molestation joke, but I think it's fun. Because I talk about being like Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican. I've been trying to learn Spanish. I just recently found out that the Spanish word for annoying is molesto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's like, and I got to be honest, that does sound pretty fucking annoying.
It's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. They didn't like it. They did not think so.
That's funny.
Yeah, that joke usually works. But sometimes people just like, I'm learning a lot in comedy. There's like, especially for like, more like liberal people, there's like
there's weird lines.
Trigger words.
There's
just
lines
trigger
that you
words
can't cross.
where they hear it and immediately
shut down.
They don't even care what else you have to say.
Completely
at that point. You could be clever, whatever you think.
That reminds me of a joke I have that I have seen people shut the fuck down. But what's crazy though to me is that black people love it.
Oh, what is it?
And they love, like, anytime I do it, I'll see like 90% of the room go, what? And then black people are like, yeah, that's awesome. And the joke is basically, I've never been a dog person, but now that I have a dog, I'm finding that the word walk is turning into the N-word because I can never say it anymore. I have to like avoid this word. And then sometimes people come to my house and they say it, and I have to pull them aside and be like, it's really not cool that you're saying that word. That's really just a word for me.
Have you been on Kill Tony?
Yeah.
Did you do that on Kill Tony?
No, I did not. I did a different joke on Kill Tony. But then...
Because I feel like... Did you post like a clip about it or something?
I did post a clip about it.
Maybe I've seen that, yeah.
And but then the finish of the joke is, but whenever I'm alone with my dog, I say it a lot. And I think it's pretty funny. But like, a lot of people are just like, what the fuck? Like, you're saying the N-word to your dog? That's crazy.
I mean, dude, this is, that... I get it. But also it's like... You can genuinely think of really funny like N-word jokes or whatever, molestation jokes.
Yeah.
Even like rape jokes, whatever. Like there is a way to make it really funny, but like the thing is that like one-liners usually don't work out with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you need a good amount of context to make it worth exactly.
Yeah, you need rapport. And that's what I've learned with jokes like that was actually something I've learned also with comedy since the last year. It's like you have these jokes that you love, but you need to like get people to like you first.
Yes.
Before you're like, okay, now that they've learned about me, I can say this crazy shit that I've been thinking.
Yeah, and then they hit him with the sucker punch, and then they end up liking you even more at the end because you deceived them, but in a positive way. It's like, how can they hate you when 90% of the time they fucked with what you were saying,
Yeah, yeah.
I've had crowds like that love the fucking molesto joke, and then then I do some of my lighter shit, and then they're just like, fucking definitely gotta be careful with that stuff in a club.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did this club gig in Plano like 3 weeks ago, and it was an awesome show. It was like 200 people in the crowd.
Oh, wow.
I was hosting it. I did 15 minutes up front. I closed out with a very I will die on this hill. A very funny date rape joke.
Yeah?
I think it's so funny.
Oh, what's the joke? Come on.
So this is how, again, I'm still workshopping it, but this is roughly what it is.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. I think date rape sounds kind of romantic when you think about the alternative.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's funny.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly funny. It's just... And so I did this in the club, and as soon as they heard rape, they were just like, oh.
Yeah, they shut down.
And I was like, wait, hey, shut the fuck up. This is my last joke. You guys shut the fuck up. Hear me out. You guys did not even pay attention to the rest of what I said. It's like, let me say this one more time. And they were like, okay. And then I said it a second time, and then they laughed a lot more.
Okay.
Because they actually listened. I was like, you guys shut down immediately when you heard the word rape. You got to hear me
Because you brought them back to level. You were like, guys... It's me.
Yeah.
You're talking to me here. Yeah,
Think about it. Think about it. And let me tell you how the rest of that joke goes. So
there's more? I thought that was a great one-liner. I was like, that's fantastic.
I think it does work as a one-liner. It works well as a one-liner.
It would take a minute for a lot of people to click on that, though.
Yeah.
But that is, because you would say that and people would be like, what? And then they'd go, oh, okay,
Yeah, sometimes it helps when I'm like, when you think about the alternative, which is just regular rape.
Yeah.
With no date. Like dateless rape.
I feel like it's better as a one-liner to just say that and then stare at them, and they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna be like, "Oh, just rape."
It's all about perspective. That's why. And that's a lot of the jokes I tell are just like, change up your perspective a little bit and try to understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, and then this is some dumb analogy I use to kind of close out.
the
joke. It's like like going for like driving to go get ice cream, then you get into a car accident. It's like, yeah, you got some bruises and your memory's a little hazy, but at least you got ice cream.
Yeah.
It's not a great analogy.
I still just like the one-liner. I think that's just a banger one-liner, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That is a
I think it's
banger
great.
of a
When I thought
one-liner.
of that, I was like, this is fucking heat, dude.
Yeah, that's great. Just say that, and then you could just stare at people, and then you'll be watching everyone go, "What? What does that mean?" Like they'll just
It's a
slowly
good one-liner to walk the room on, for sure.
I have one like that where it's not offensive, but it definitely takes a while for people to click, and they'll look at me and go, "What?" And I'll say like, I'm pro-choice only because I've never heard of a haunted abortion clinic. And people will be like, what? And then eventually they'll go, oh, it's because they're killing the babies in there.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing I run into is that, like, and people tell me this, I'm not like fucking tooting my own horn or anything, but I've been told that I write in a very like intelligent way that not everybody clicks with right away.
Yeah.
You know, like I just recently posted a clip on my Instagram, I think yesterday, with this incest joke I do, which is it's just wordplay.
Yeah.
But like people don't always get it.
I watched
right
that
away.
one. That one was good.
Oh, thank you, man. I
It
appreciate
was,
that.
how did it go? I was thinking a lot about incest lately. I forgot the rest.
Yes, I've been thinking about incest a lot, which that's a funny line just to open with.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like some people would argue about incest. Like some people think that it's more ethical to sleep with your third cousin rather than your first cousin. But personally, I think it's gross whether it's your third or first time. It's just wordplay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that one's good.
Yeah,
That's
I got to
good.
get more into posting content, man. I think that the world that we live in, especially for comedy, is like
You have to do it.
it's content. I mean, there are so many fucking retards that are just getting famous off of
Off content.
the dumbest content.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'll and it's, you know, as a creative, I'm like, it's funny because some of these people will make funny videos and then go into doing stand up, and some of them will be great. Like I'm pretty sure, I think, and I might be wrong, but I think that Trevor Wallace started as a content guy.
Yeah, he started with
And then
YouTube videos.
He did. He started with YouTube and Reels.
The what was that video that he got famous for? It was no, dude. No, dude. He was just doing that like for YouTube videos, and that blew him up. And now he's just a full on comic.
And he's a fucking killer, dude.
He's good.
That guy's genuinely so fucking funny. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that you can be a good stand-up comedian even if you started with like reels and content. But some people will like sell out comedy clubs just to bomb for 40 minutes.
That's what I'm really scared of because I know that I'm good at social media videos, but I just don't know if I'm that good at stand up. I've had good sets where I'm like, yeah, this is going well. But like a year in, I just don't think is enough. Stand up is a different animal.
Well, how much time can you do right now like that you're like confident with?
Probably like 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
It's
I
not
would
bad.
probably
I mean,
say
you're moving
15.
pretty quickly, man. Fucking my first 2 or 3 years doing stand up, I was just trying to get a solid tight 5. But that's also like I kind of came up in like the New York, New Jersey scene, so it was like you have no business doing more time if you don't have a killer 5.
Right.
So I had like maybe like 20 minutes of material in that first year, but it wasn't like trim enough that I was gonna just go out and do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I could do a pretty decent tight 5. It was one of those things where I was never recording when I killed the hardest.
Right now, like my 10, 15 is mostly the stuff that you see on Instagram. It's just that. And then I'll just kind of rattle them off. Like, so I have like maybe 60 videos that I've done, which are basically bits. But some of them, I've tried them on stage and I'm like, this just doesn't work on a stage. It's amazing the difference that you'll see where you're like, this video is so good. And then you try it on a stage and it's like, that just doesn't translate. But then sometimes it translates perfectly. It's very interesting how that works. Like some bits you just can't do them on a stage. I don't know why. But yeah, that's pretty much all my material. It's just stuff that I post online. I would like to do more clips like what you're doing, where you take a clip of you actually in an audience and you're performing, because those are the clips that get you booked for like actual stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're doing clips like me, I mean, it's great to get followers and it's great for views, but it doesn't really translate to shows, which is like the goal.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm coming from the exact opposite side of the spectrum, by the way.
Yeah.
Where like I'm still trying to become like as best of a stand-up comedian as I can be, but like
Right.
I definitely struggle like having like viral clips and just like stuff like that. Like I've made a couple of sketches too, and they've been decent. Like, but I've never like I think the most likes I have on like a sketch I made is like maybe 250 likes, which isn't bad because that means it did well within my following.
Right.
But like, you know, I don't know how to get my content out in front of like hundreds of thousands of people. Like, I don't know, there's like tricks with the algorithm. Like I'm trying to study it. I'm trying to understand what I could do to bring up the likelihood of it being seen by more people, like me getting like higher quality video, higher quality audio, censoring certain fucking words if I need to.
The big thing I've learned since like doing it for 5 years with mortgage and then this is the big thing that I see a lot of comics miss is a hook. That's like the big thing. You need to have something in the first like 3 seconds that is making people go, oh, what's going to happen? Like that's the most important thing.
See, I thought that way, and that's why I posted that clip yesterday because, you know, it didn't do amazing. It did fine. I think I maybe got like 70 likes on it on both like Instagram and TikTok. It actually did better on TikTok, which was interesting because I have like
That happens.
way less followers on TikTok.
Yeah. How many did it get on TikTok?
I think it got like 70, like 80 something. Not much better, but
80,000?
It did better. No, like 70 or 80.
You talking about likes?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So 80, like how many views?
it got close to 2,000 views.
2,000 views. Okay. And then on Instagram, how many views?
About 1,700, about 70-ish likes.
Okay. Instagram, the like ratio is way off.
Yeah,
For sure. The TikTok like ratios are way higher. I have no idea why.
yeah. I think there's just way more people on TikTok, especially because it's like a
think so?
Chinese app. Like, think about how many people are like in China, and like these other places where like maybe
But the Chinese don't get our content.
really is that right?
Yeah, they don't get our content.
I didn't know
They're
that.
actually blocked on a lot. It's actually TikTok itself technically is banned in China.
Wow.
But because they don't want the American TikTok is like the American version. They have their own version, which is from the same company, which is like their TikTok, which is legal for them. But our version, they don't want them seeing our shit.
Yeah,
They like separate it. But I don't know. I just think I think the community in TikTok is a little bit tighter. I think that's kind of what I think. It's more, people like seeing people on TikTok more than on Instagram. It's a bit more disconnected. That's been my impression, at least. I don't know.
yeah. No, that makes sense. Honestly, I would say any video that I've posted on TikTok without like collabing with like a bigger page has done better than when I posted it on Instagram.
Yeah. I like TikTok, though. I would be sad to see it go. To me, TikTok is like, I say this all the time. TikTok to me is like an open mic. I put everything on TikTok. Like I'll post the worst videos you've ever seen on TikTok and I'll just send them into the void. And then if it even does remotely well, then I'm like, oh, okay, that could be something for Instagram. And then Instagram's kind of like the show. Because I feel like
That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's a good gauge to see how well your content might perform.
Exactly. So
Yeah, TikTok seems easier. Like not easier, but
Yeah.
like it's like because it all feels like a gamble. You
Yeah.
know, like you're just shooting it out there and hoping something connects and it fucking circulates.
and if it is a gamble, then just fucking keep on going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's low stakes either way, but I will say that like a video performing well on Instagram definitely feels way cooler than it
Yeah.
performing well on TikTok.
Yeah. Because then everybody you know is on Instagram, but you probably don't follow everybody you know on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Like I started getting more followers since I've been posting more stand-up clips. Not a whole lot, but I have some, and I have some influencer friends who like their bios will be like 2.5 million on TikTok,
Yeah.
and they have like 10,000 on Instagram. It's like
It's crazy.
Why
the
is
disconnect.
that?
It's crazy. It's just either I would imagine the reason that is because they didn't translate a lot of their content over to Reels. They just didn't do the work to do that.
What do you mean by that?
So, it's like from my experience, what I usually do is, again, post up everything on TikTok. And on TikTok, I have like 24,000 or something. And a lot of them do bad. They just don't go anywhere. But if it's really good, I'll transfer it over to Instagram. And so what happens is everything I've posted on Instagram is pretty fucking good. Like it's in a sea of dog shit that I'm doing on TikTok. There's some good shit in there, and I'm putting it on Instagram, and Instagram's going, oh, these are all really solid that this guy is uploading. Like he's not uploading dog shit. But so that I think that's why I've gotten like really a big pump on Instagram, because now I have like 51,000 or something on Instagram.
Yeah, you got like almost double.
Yeah, and I think it's because I'm just channeling all the best shit onto there, and Instagram knows, and it's saying, okay, this guy's hitting good shit. Have not seen that traction on X or YouTube. It's amazing how different those are,
dude. I don't know. YouTube is a completely different beast. It's insane.
YouTube is, I think, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the podcast, is because YouTube long form content is great. Timmy No Breaks, I did an interview with him. It's amazing. I did it like 2 months ago, had like maybe 50 people saw it. And now it's at like 1,000 views. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool that all these people were like, oh, I want to see that person that we saw on Kill Tony, and it funneled into. And that was a moment where I was like, I'm so happy that I'm doing this.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Tim Stiefler's like, he's such an interesting dude. Like,
he's a legend. Dude.
Like when I first met him, it was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
He was very like well known around town for being a crowd work comic, because he was just like a monster at crowd work. He was so fucking good. But then it's kind of like, and this, I think I'm kind of seeing some of this with myself nowadays, because I got really into crowd work, and I do crowd work a lot, and I've gotten pretty good at it. Tim was fucking incredible at crowd work.
Yeah.
And he got to a point, I guess, and I'm also getting to a point where I'm realizing this, where like, yeah, it's a good skill to have, but it's not going to get you booked.
Yeah.
You know, like unless you have like super viral crowd work clips, which it can be hard to get really good crowd work clips, but like club bookers don't care if you're good at crowd work. Even like local producers don't really give a shit if you're good at crowd work.
Right.
They want to see your written practice material do well.
Right. Well, because crowd work is sort of it's like an X. You don't really know what's going to happen, and they don't want to. They don't want to not have that.
They don't want to roll the dice.
They don't want to roll the dice on you. Yeah. But I think with his Timmy No Breaks character though,
I fucking love Timmy No. I didn't like it at first, but dude, it cracks me up.
Oh, it's so funny. And I was telling him the other day, I was like, you don't understand. The thing about him that's amazing is he has a presence that demands attention. You know what I mean? Like when you see him go on stage, instantly everybody shuts the fuck up and they're like, what is about to happen right now? Whether it's good or bad, you're paying attention, which is amazing. You know what I mean?
That is something that he has, man.
Yeah.
Fucking when he's like, I'm 18.
It's just like, what? It's just
so funny.
You
man.
have to be like, what? Like you have to pay attention. It's funny because there's no punchline, there's no real written material, but it's hilarious. It is hilarious, undeniably. And when I was talking, I was like, I think I'm literally the opposite of him when it comes to how I do it, because I am very written. Everything I do is written.
Yeah.
I have very, like, this joke goes like this, and I know the way that I word it each time. Whereas he doesn't do that at all. His is just like, I'm going to go out there and wing it, which is impressive.
Yeah, he's even with his character stand-up, he's still using that improv crowd work skill, but he's just using it differently. It's like he's channeling it into this character instead of into himself.
Yeah, but he said he's been doing improv for like 16, 15 years. So
holy shit.
He said he did improv when he was 21, and he's 36.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean...
Okay, yeah, that
he
makes
deserves
sense.
it. You know what I mean? Then
sense.
That's why. And he's like, "Oh, I've been doing stand up for 2 years," but it's like, yeah, but dude, you're fucking, you know what you're doing. Like, you
Yeah.
know what you're fucking doing.
Dude, what I've noticed is that most, and this is why I want to take some high level improv classes, because I do believe that comedy classes can help. People are just like, no, you got to experience. Yes, you need to experience, but you might miss out on some fundamentals in just experiencing.
Completely agree. I think improv is the way. I think taking a writing course could be good, and I think taking an improv course could be good. Writing, you know, because just to get some ideas, fresh ideas about your life or whatever perspectives, whatever you're trying to write about. But the improv is the sleeper. I think a lot of people I see even around town, they have these really well-written jokes, and I'm like, man, that joke is actually so good, but you're a log up there. You know what I mean? Like, you see someone, they're not performing.
Like, they're not present.
They're not present. They're just timid, and they're not really exuding the confidence that joke deserves. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what you can teach at an improv course.
Yeah,
is how to just get that.
How to like show your character. Dude, presence is so fucking important.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Preston, told me this. Preston Gitlin. By the way, this guy is like super fucking famous now, but not in the way that you would expect. So Preston, I forget how long he was doing comedy when I met him, but he's this super wealthy dude from I believe Syracuse, New York, some fucking upstate town. And he used to do like a lot of club gigs and stuff, but then like he just became fascinated with Spanish culture, and he lived in Costa Rica for a couple of years, to the point where he just like became extremely fluent in Spanish, and now does like hours of stand up in Spanish in fucking like Costa Rica, Colombia, like all over like any like Latin country you can think of. He tours, and he's like super famous. Like, he's on Netflix in Espanol and shit.
Really?
Like, he's like got like I think maybe upward of 100,000 followers now. And he's a white Jew.
But you know why that's so good?
Not Spanish at all.
You know why that is so fucking good? Look at Ari Mahdi, dude. These guys, when you come into the United States and you are looking at a fresh perspective of our culture, that's humor right there. He just did the inverse. He was like, oh, I'll just go into Spanish culture and do exactly the same thing. I could totally see that working. Just some Jew from New York going into fucking El Salvador and talking about, you know, tamales or whatever. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you think that's what his stand-up is? He's just talking about tamales.
Yeah, he's just there like, these ain't nothing like the papas we had at home or some bullshit.
So funny. What's really impressive to me is that he spent so much time amongst these other cultures, and like him learning Spanish, and just became so like obsessed with it that he knows like a bunch of different dialects from different Spanish cultures. So he has like jokes for Mexicans, jokes for Colombians, jokes for Bolivian people. Like, he knows the nuances and how they speak. Yeah. And like and
it's so much funnier coming from a white guy.
It's
so much funny. But it's the same thing.
But they respect the fuck out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because like most Americans won't take the time to learn Spanish or any other thing. It's like, oh, you should learn our language. It's like, no, dude, there's more culture than this. And also, the English language is literally a language that's derivative of a plethora of cultures.
Right. It feels good to praise a person that is respecting and admiring their culture in that way. And then you know, putting it out there for people to see the same way that we appreciate when people do that with us. You know, like, I think if Ari Mahdi went up and did like a hillbilly accent, people would be like, "That's so funny," because he's not from here. Yeah. But anybody else, it's just like, yeah, dude, they're hillbillies. You know what I mean? But that's a genius move to just move to, because now he's probably on a beach somewhere, fucking. Just having margaritas, telling jokes.
Oh yeah, dude, all the time.
With the mamacitas. Dude, that guy's living the life.
He is, man. He is.
Yeah.
And fucking, what was it? They call him an honorary Puerto Rican because of how he came about. It's insane.
A New York Jew, an honorary Puerto Rican. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking impressive. Like, sometimes you're just like, it's just a matter of choosing the right direction for yourself, and you'll just fucking flourish. Like, dude, like with going back to Timmy No Breaks, dude, like, fucking, he's starting to get really fucking viral, and like, yeah. I can't even like, I couldn't try to discredit him even if I wanted to.
No,
it's truly fucking impressive.
He deserves every ounce of what he has. It's amazing. Like, because that is so undeniably him. And you couldn't even be like, maybe I can do what he does and try to copy. Like, you couldn't even do that. You know what I mean? There's no way that anybody else can do that. That's what's so perfect about that character, is because it's him. He kind of reminds me of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or something. You know what I mean? Like no breaks. Yeah. No breaks is the Hulk, and then there's just Tim Stiefler, who's just like, yeah, I'm just a guy, whatever. Like a Bruce Banner.
That's so true, man. There's like let me see. There's not like he's one of the funniest, definitely, as far as like a character stand-up goes. For sure. There's not too many that like strictly do characters. I think maybe Grant Wheeler kind of does a character.
I can't put a face to that name.
He's that guy that's like, like that's like he does that like after every joke. Exactly. Yes, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grant Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! The first time I saw that guy was at Kickbutt Coffee, and I was like, "That's funny, dude."
It is funny.
Yeah. But I have seen it not hit, and then it's like, oof.
But the thing is that like Tim was so like willing to take risks that it paid off for him.
Oh yeah,
you know. Sure. And another one I really like, Tony Pepperoni.
I know the name, cannot put a face to it.
Oh my god, dude! His character cracks me the fuck up.
Is he the black guy?
No, he's not. He's this Italian dude. He's like,
I know what you're talking about.
I think he's from Colorado. He did, the character is Tony Pepperoni. Yeah. He puts on like a t-shirt that has like pepperonis on it.
Yeah.
And then he has like a blonde mustache that he puts like duct tape on his face to hold up. And then he puts on like a chef hat. he talks like what you would think an Italian guy would sound like if you did no research. He's like, Mamma Mia. Like,
Mamma Mia, like Mario.
Yeah, but he doesn't like try too hard. He's just like every joke he does, he opens up his set by saying, when I say Mamma Mia, you say Papa Pia. And then he just does these stupid fucking one-liners, dude. But it's so fucking funny, man.
So dumb that it's great. It's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, I want him to get on Kill Tony so badly, dude. I think he would fucking would blow up. It's so fucking funny. But my favorite part,
shit like that is so good.
It's so good.
Have you seen that? This one guy, I respect the fuck out of this dude. He gets a speaker and he goes on stage with like a metal pooper scooper.
Oh my god, you're talking. What the fuck is his name? Adrian Escamilla.
Dude, I love seeing that dude go up there and do that. It's the
I forgot about him. Yeah,
shit.
I don't really see him too often.
I haven't seen him in a minute.
It is very funny what he does, but it's also like you gotta really be open to it. Yeah. Like most people see that and they're like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Exactly.
But he does like movie monologues, or sometimes he'll write his own monologues, which is cool.
Yeah. One time he went up there and just did Master of Puppets. And I thought that one was great. And then he did another one where it was just like a scene from Jerry Maguire. And I was like, all right, that's funny. That's pretty good. But I'm curious is how can he do that for longer than like 3 minutes? Because that's going to get kind of boring. I don't know how that goes for, how do you do 10, 15 minutes of that? Keeping it spicy. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's an example of like a very niche kind of performance. It's good, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to say this last thing about Tony Pepperoni. Yeah. And I don't know if if like I ever book you and he's on, you gotta fucking watch him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like next time I book you, gotta watch him. It's so funny because he'll do like, I'll give him like 10 minutes because he really shines when he has more time. And he'll do like the first like 6, 7, 8 minutes of just like the Tony Pepperoni character. And it's hilarious because of how silly it is. And then he'll just be like, I did this character as a joke 5 years ago and I can't stop doing it.
Just break character.
Like, I don't know who I am anymore. Dude, it fucking kills me. He has like an existential crisis on stage.
That is so good.
Dude, it's art, dude. It's fucking incredible.
To just break the wall. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and not even in like I was just joking kind of way. It's like he's serious, like and part of it like he says it because I think he's aware that it gets big laughs, but also it's like there's realness to it. Like he
there's actual pain in those eyes.
He did regular stand up before that character, and he would do the same jokes. But once he started doing that character, that's when everybody started losing their minds about it.
That's scary. That's the scary thing about a character, man, is because you do a character that slaps, that's all you got. You know what I mean? But then if you have to go back and then people are like, ew, what the fuck? That sucks. You know what I mean? I think about AI Mark Norman. You know that guy?
Oh, I think you're talking about Jeremiah Watkins.
Maybe, yeah. That's probably him. And he does that character and everyone loves it. It's so funny. And he does other characters that are so funny. He did like Joe Rogan and all that. He did a bunch of characters, but once you do regular stand-up, people are like...
Jeremiah is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's
funny,
very versatile.
But it's like, you know what I mean? It's definitely weird. It's like seeing Adam Ray not as Dr. Phil. It's still funny, but it's like, okay, but we like Dr. Phil. You know what I mean?
Dr. Phil might be his most popular character, but like the other ones they're all fucking hysterical.
They're all funny. Every one of them is funny. But when I just saw him do random stand-up, I'm like, yeah, it's good. But like, where's Dr. Phil? You know what I mean? There's a piece of you that's like,
where's fucking Jeremy, dude?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Whatever that was. That's funny.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. He really knows how to like commit and stay in character. Like you can see him break character for like very small moments, only when he's like interviewing people and they say something that really just makes him laugh.
Yeah, that's great. I love seeing him break.
Did you see that fucking Dr. Phil live when Dr. Phil actually was there?
Oh yeah, that one was great.
Insane.
That one was so funny.
He's like, his character is like Dr. Phil if he had more of an edge.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like, all right, fucking weird you said that, but that's cool.
Fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, we're actually thinking of doing so with the programming, with how I'm trying to make Gnar Bars, because like regular showcases with fire comedians, you can't beat that. But there are so many working comics in town, and I really want to kind of cultivate that into a space where comics can work out material, but I only want people there who actually give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like if you're actually trying and you're doing well, there will be significant blips of fucking progress shown over time.
Right.
And so what I want to do, maybe like a monthly thing. We did one already, and it was pretty good for what it was. We just had a low turnout, but it was just like a character show.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, just like we booked 4 comics.
Oh, that would be fun.
Just doing characters, and it's great.
That would be
so much fun.
Have you ever done a character?
I haven't. I want to, but it takes a lot of writing and commitment. It's something I haven't fully stepped into, but I want to do
Commitment
all kinds
for
of comedy.
sure. Commitment is the big thing. That's what won Timmy No Breaks. That's the thing about the commitment is, I think, everything with a character. Because if at any point you kind of get nervous and then you go, oh, I'll just be myself again, it's over. You know what I mean? It's fucking over. You got to be in the pocket the whole time. And I don't know if I could do that. That's tough. I don't know if I could do it.
I mean, fucking, you gotta just give it a shot, give it a try, and see if it feels right. If then just go for it.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Fucking. Yeah, the
Character
show.
night.
The show is called Altered Egos.
That's good.
Yeah, I really like the name.
That's funny.
Because it's like, yeah, this is the ego of a person that this guy made up.
Yeah. What's that thing? Multiple personality? You couldn't do that. That's too long.
Yeah.
Alter ego is better.
Because like it's like alter egos, but you're instead turning altered into a past tense verb rather than using it as like a noun.
Yeah. That would be hilarious to see comics that I already know attempting a character at the first time.
Yeah, that
would be so funny.
It's always going to be fun to watch one way or another.
Just watching people that have never done that attempt to do it would be so good to watch.
Yeah. But there's a lot of comics out here that do like characters and stuff. Like basically anybody who's on the Absolute Show, dude, that show is fucking. I don't know if you've seen it. That show is fucking incredible.
Yeah. Like Colton Jones. The other guy, the other chubby guy. I forget his name.
Ike Rafferty, maybe?
That's him. And
JT Abbott, even Lucas McCrary, Liz, all of them, they're just like they're so fucking funny. Like it's so cool that they all like found each other and came together. It's like every show that I've seen, even just like bits and pieces of it, was so fucking funny, dude. Mm-hmm. Like I was a couple weeks ago, I was hanging out there for there was a mic in the back of Creek, Rachel Wolfson's bucket mic. So I was like doing that, and in between comics, I would just kind of go over there and just, just hang out in there. Listen, they were like literally doing like, they had like a full band and they were doing like improvised screamo.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Like, he was like talking about like food they like. They're like Minecraft and just like saying like random shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was just. And after they did that, they would go up to each other and be like, "Okay, I think you should go higher here."
Like grading each other
here. Yeah, it's like that. It's just that's like. I think improvised comedies, especially in stand up, that's like, to me, feels like the purest, most fucking natural, most magical kind of stand up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would disagree. Well, I guess it's a personal preference, but
Yeah.
to me, it's like I feel like written material that is executed perfectly to me is like, man, that is the dream, Improvised comedy to me is like, that's amazing. I'm surprised that people can do it. I'm impressed by it.
It's like magic, dude.
It is magic. It's literally magic. But I think the beauty of like a good joke is something that you can tell over and over, and then people will be like, you remember that joke that Norm did? Or remember that joke that Louis C.K. did?
Yeah.
And people will always remember like, that was a fucking good joke, Because an improvised moment is funny in the moment, but I feel like over time it sizzles. But I want that.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much of a shelf life.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of what I aspire for. But then that's what exactly I was saying. Like, I'm completely opposite of Timmy No Breaks. Like, I'm always like, how do I write something that's going to stand that test of time? But who knows?
It can be tough. I mean, there's a lot of different ways, even like within just stand up, there's so many different like types of stand up that you can choose to do. Like, some people are topical and like, especially like in New York City, people are very topical over there. And what's cool about that is that like they'll come up, like they'll do a club show like once a week or twice a week, and they'll have new things to talk about that are like actively happening in the world. They find a way to make it relatable, point out what's funny or ironic or interesting about that. And that takes a lot of fucking skill. I've kind of struggled with topical content.
I think the reason why they're doing it is because that's basically where the most experienced people are, and they're shuffling through a lot of material often and fast, and being topical is the easiest way to get new shit. And if it's good and it lands, then you can do topical shit later on, like a year later. Like, you could make a banger COVID joke today. I think it would work.
Maybe that I disagree there, because like I think the one thing about topical comedy that can be tough is just that the shelf life is very short. Because like even like COVID, for example, like I don't see anybody making COVID jokes anymore, and it makes sense because it's something that we all move past,
right?
And it's just not relevant anymore. There's other things that are happening that kind of take precedence over that. And
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
it's like.
But if you heard a good Luigi Mangione joke today,
Luigi Mangione still relevant. He's that dude's still in jail. I think he's they're trying to give him the death penalty or something.
Right, and
like, there's a lot happening there.
Maybe that's my point. Because if you're a Mark Norman, and you're trying to get material for your next special, you're doing topical shit that's going to be relevant for the next couple years, maybe. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's topical, but it's not going away anytime soon. So you can keep that material, do it a lot, and then kind of build a repertoire. And then over the next couple of years, when it is gone and people stop talking about it, then you move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think you can do a good topical joke for months, maybe even a year.
Yeah.
Depending on how relevant it stays, or even just how like clever the joke is.
Yeah.
What do you think is where do you kind of see yourself being? Like, what are your favorite types of stand up? What do you see yourself being able to like thrive at?
Me personally, like, you mean like related to a comic? Like, if my style was most like someone.
How would you define your style, and what is it that you would lean towards?
Probably adolescence is a lot of it. I do a lot of just my life, like what I've experienced lately.
So like observational comedy?
Observational. A lot of observational. Like, I have one joke, which is a funny one that I usually start with, which is just, I was at the airport the other day and I was thinking you could just point at anybody in here and yell, that guy has a bomb in his ass, and they'd have to check that guy's ass. And that's like one of my favorite ones to start with. And it's a silly observational joke, but it's good. And that's pretty funny, right? And because it actually happened, I was at the airport in line and I was talking to my sister and I was like, I could just yell that you have a bomb right now in your ass and they would fucking tackle you. And I think it's just a funny thought. So a lot of that and then stories of my life, just stuff, usually pretty observational. If I said that I was like a comic, maybe like a John Mulaney, it's kind of along that. He's a lot of stories about what he's done and kind of just silly in the way that he's telling the story, something like that.
Like a lot of personal stuff.
Personal stuff. Not a lot of, just personal stuff. Not too crude either. I'm not like insanely crude or talking about sex or anything like that. It's usually pretty low-key shit.
I think that's better though. I mean, I think, sex jokes are funny and they usually hit pretty hard, but like if you're only doing sex jokes, it's almost like it's kind of low-hanging fruit. It's like, yeah, you can make it clever and you can make it work, but what impresses me the most is when people can talk about something completely random or personal to them, but it doesn't have to do like dirty or fucked up.
Yeah. I think dirty and fucked up is a bit cheap. And it doesn't really talk about you. I think it's really important to kind of show like, this is what I do day to day. This is my life. And then if you can make that funny, that's amazing. But if you're up there talking about dicks and ass and rape, it's like, okay, those were clever, but who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a very good point. It's not personal stuff, and personal stuff that people can feel like they can relate to you or kind of just like resonate with. That's the stuff that's going to hit harder and like have a way longer shelf life. Like, you know Annie, right? Annie Teicher.
Yeah.
Fucking seriously, fucking love her as a comedian. She's so funny. I think one of her favorite jokes that I heard her do recently, she posted it a little while ago, was she was talking about like how she thinks she would do well in prison. Yeah, that would be a good experience.
I think
for her.
I did see this. Yeah,
and then she was kind of opening up the perspective. And my favorite one that she's like come up with so far is that like, have you ever been in the shower and just thought, what if my friends were here? That is so fucking funny, dude.
That's good.
And it's also like a testament to who she is as a person. Mm-hmm. It shows her personality and the way that she thinks. So it makes her. It's not only it's silly, it's hilarious because it's so personal and it's not a thought that most people would have.
Yeah. She had this. I had her on here and she did this clip. Oh my God, I was dying laughing. We were talking about Facebook and it was like a really serious conversation. And we were like, it's so sad seeing like dead people on Facebook because, people are like talking to them and being like, we miss you and all this stuff. And she's like, yeah. And then there's like the random person who's like, hey man, I haven't talked to you in a while. Do you still work at Liberty Mutual? That fucking killed me, dude. I was like, yo, that is so fucking funny.
It's so funny.
Oh man. But she told another one about her building a toilet made out of fucking snow that all the kids in her school were shitting in. I was like, dude, that is so funny. But yeah, just it's funny seeing people start out also and learn about what is funny too and kind of build. Like I was watching this kid yesterday. He was just bombing at this open mic, bombing. But he was talking for a while and kind of talking. And he seemed like a nice kid. And at one point he goes, my roommate says I'm the kind of guy that looks like he would have sex to that Firefly song by Owl City. And the whole room erupted. Everybody just started dying laughing because he looked like such a sweet kid and it looked so true and accurate. And I was like, dude, you got to do that joke again. That joke's so funny. I see him at the next open mic. He opens with it and it bombs. And I'm like, and then I was like, dude, you did it. He's like, well, why didn't it work? And it's like, because we got to know you, and then you dropped that joke, and it was hilarious. But if you open with that, we don't know who you are. You know what I mean? So we don't know why that makes sense yet. But I think that was a really interesting moment, because he was like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. Because he's only been doing it like twice or something. But, yeah, it was a fun moment.
Yeah, there has to be, like, a certain level of context for most jokes to work.
Yeah. Just like the molestar joke. You got to get some rapport before you dive right in. But
yeah, I've always struggled to like find a consistently good opener.
Yeah.
Because I want an opener ideally that's like that's like interesting, has a good hook, and is just quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You immediately win them over. Then the world is your oyster. You can talk about anything. You
Yeah.
know? Like fucking joke I was opening with for a while was the supportive friend joke, which I did on Kill Tony. That was my first Kill Tony appearance. I opened with that joke. It went great, and that's still a very reliable joke. But the thing is that it requires so much setup. I would rather have something quicker. You know, because like,
That's
oh,
interesting.
my friend came out as gay, posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
Did you guys know it's not supportive to comments? I fucking knew it. That's basically the meat of the joke. But I have to have other lines in there to provide context.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's a big pop, but it requires
A lot of build.
15, 20 seconds of setup.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm debating with right now, too. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, if I got on Kill Tony again, would I do a bunch of jokes that are quick, witty, funny, they get laughs, and it's fine? Or would I do like a joke that I have that I really like? It's an old one. It's a lot of build-up, but the ending is a big pop. You know what I mean? Do I go for that bold, that one about me as a person? It's character building. It's like really shows who I am and how I think, but it's a bit of a commitment and it's a story. Or do I do a bunch of the cheap little like observational laugh, like the bomb in the ass is one of them, stuff that. Like, do I do that or do I do this? And I was debating like, how would I do it if I got back on? And I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's tough because you have literally 1 minute to do an entire set.
Exactly.
So, I mean, from what I've seen, if the buildup is worth it, it tends to go way better when people stick to one topic. You know, like you can do. Like my first appearance, I did 2 jokes. My second appearance, I did 3 shorter ones, and they both went pretty well. First one went way better, but they both went pretty well. And I think that's what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to stick to one joke with a lot of punchlines. That's just one joke that can fit in a minute.
Okay. That's good. Do you need more water?
No, I'm all right.
Okay. Yeah, that's something. Today I was thinking I was leaning toward the story with the big pop, just because I think you're right. Like I don't know. It tells a little bit about you, and I think it's just a good.
It's personal, also.
It's
the big
personal,
thing I fucking learned about my Kill Tony appearance, especially after the first one, because first one went pretty great, but it could have been amazing. And the reason it was just great and not amazing is because for the interview I wasn't prepared for it. And the reason I wasn't prepared for it is because I didn't account for the fact that whatever content I tell in my minute is going to be the premise of what he's asking me questions about.
Yeah.
So he asked me questions about these jokes I wrote, which they're purely observational. They don't necessarily have any direct like connection to me. Well, the supportive joke did because that actually happened. But he was more. He kind of focused more on the second joke I did, which was the tomboy joke, which is just it's a silly wordplay joke about me getting drunk and telling my friend that I like boys, basically because I fucked up the wording. And that's like, it's a lot of people told me, and I saw this a lot in like Reddit and stuff and like YouTube comments. They were like, a lot of people were like, I knew where you were going with it, but you fucking delivered it great, so it was still very entertaining. You know,
right. That is the thing you got to consider is whatever you tell the joke, whatever your joke is, that's going to turn into your interview.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a very good thing to consider, which is making me lean toward the longer joke again.
I think you should. I think maybe take that longer, more personal joke and kind of like try to punch it up as much as you can, leading up to the big punchline. But like, I've seen people do like a long joke where the big punchline was at the end and it just destroyed. Like those where people were like on the edge of their seats because like, oh my God, he's bombing right now.
Yeah.
But then they get to the end, you're like, oh shit, all that buildup
was worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I'm going for the next one.
And I think that's what I'm good at. Like based on, like I said, even my videos and stuff, I mean, everything is sort of long build up, a lot of storytelling, and then the end, there's the huge kick in the face. And that is what I feel the most comfortable with. Now, I like these little bite-sized jokes that I have too. I think a lot of them are fun. But again, I've noticed, like you said, if you do those on Kill Tony, it's like, okay, now that's over. Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? We don't know anything about you. But if you do a joke that's a little bit about your personality, I think that builds to a better interview. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
You work for the KT crew, right?
Yeah, I'm interning right now. I'm trying to make it into like get into like the paid part of everything.
Nice.
It's a bit of work, but really anything. It's just being reliable and dedicated and stuff, which I love it so much. I mean, just being there, it's so cool. I get to be around all these really good comics and just experience things and like network and stuff, which it's hard not to network in that environment.
Yeah.
But also it's
Especially when you're working there, for sure.
exactly like,
Yeah.
like anytime I've applied for like a PA job, like I've applied for like Colbert and shit back when I lived in New York, a big thing that they said, it was like, you don't talk to the talent. It's like, leave them alone. You're here to do a job. Because like
People are trying to network.
I understand that. Not even just networking. It's also like, you can't, like, you're supposed to be working. You can't fucking geek out over these celebrities. It's very unprofessional. You know?
That would fade away after a while. You see a couple of Britney Spears, you just be like, all right, I get it. There's another person here every week.
Yeah, you kind of accept that there are people. Even if if you're big fans of them, that's amazing. But if you remember that they're still just people, and you know, you in that environment, you can't
Can't freak out.
exactly. But you know, it's been such a great experience. I love all these people. Fucking Christy, Colt, Steve, Billy. Like, they're all very nice people, very good people, and they really give a shit about what they're doing. And being in that environment is so fucking inspiring.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I like, in, you know, sidebar, like with what I'm doing with my shows at Gnar Bar and shit, I care so much about that. And I'm always trying to improve it. And I can tell that they have the same mentality about how they're doing their production. I'm like, yes, this is the kind of experience that will take me to the next level as like a producer. So
is that what you want to do? Produce?
I mean, ideally I want to be able to do stand up full time, but I'm just a good producer. So producing has gotten me a lot of the opportunities that I get. And, you know, just producing has given, like, dude, I'm producing shows every night at Gnar Bar, and like, it's exhausting, but I'm getting so much stage time. And I wouldn't get that stage time nearly as much if I was not doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So for me, the trade-off is worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that my path to success will have a lot to do with producing. I think, because I'm a firm believer in be useful. If you're not talented, become useful until you become undeniably skilled.
That's a great way of thinking. Yeah, that's good. Because then you can't be ignored.
Yeah.
Because
hard work beats talent
something.
when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's kind of the same mentality I had with this. Because with the podcast, it just feels like, what am I good at? Like you said, I'm good at producing. It's like, I'm good at social media. So if I can somehow give that to others in the form of clips and what I'm doing here, that seems helpful. That seems useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a way of contributing, giving back, I guess. So
that's the kind of people I want around me in my production, is like, a lot of the people that like help out, like they bark, they work door, whatever. They're a part of the team. What they're doing is so important, and the people who've realized how important what they're doing is to keeping the quality of the show up and stuff.
right.
It's like, once they're locked in, it's like, okay, these are people I can work with because they get the vision, and then those are people that I will give them whatever opportunities I can. You know, like whether it's like a cool show in like a bigger, better venue, maybe like some road gigs, whatever comes down the line for me, they're the first people I'm going to think of.
Right.
Because they've shown how dedicated they are, and also
They bled for
they're
it.
funny. A lot of them are funny. Some of them are okay, but a lot of them are funny. But what's most important to me is that
You know
they
who
work
you are.
hard. What's most important to me is that they're hard workers and they show up and they give a shit. Because like I didn't think, and I still don't think, that I have much like true comedic talent, but I do think over the years I've developed skills, and whether it's improv, crowd work, joke writing, just I've learned so much, and I've been able to apply that practical knowledge in order to get better and to get more opportunities. So, you know, if you're willing to do that, I see myself in you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to fucking help you as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. How long you been doing the Gnar Bar shows?
It's been about a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been doing, you said you moved here from New York?
I was living in Jersey City, New Jersey last.
Jersey City, New Jersey.
Yeah, which is like right by New York. It's literally like maybe like a 20-minute train ride over.
Jersey City, New Jersey.
Yeah. I didn't get too creative with that name.
Yeah. What should we name the city?
Well, fuck it. It's in Jersey. Name it Jersey City.
That's awesome. You don't have an accent or anything.
No, I don't. I'm very, people can't really tell where I am. When I say Jersey, that's usually when people can tell that I'm from Jersey. That's
But you're
like the
Puerto Rican, right?
only word that I can say that sounds like it. I am Puerto Rican, yeah.
Okay. So there are a lot of Puerto Ricans up there.
There are, yeah, especially in New York. So I'm actually from the Bronx originally.
Oh, okay.
Bronx, New York, yeah. So that's like a fucking Puerto Rican cesspool. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, like pretty culturally diverse. And it's like the hood, dude.
You go to Puerto Rico a lot?
I haven't been in a decade. I want to go back, but I just haven't found the time or the money to do a trip like that. But I definitely want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started like learning more Spanish and stuff and really just like embracing that as my culture and part of who I am.
You didn't speak it in the house?
No, I didn't actually. My parents, funny enough, both were fluent in English and Spanish. And chose
kept
to
that
speak
shit to
English to
themselves.
us. It was weird, yeah.
That's crazy.
My older sister speaks very fluent Spanish.
What?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 3 years old. She's, what am I, 20 years? Yeah, she's like 31, 32 right now.
And they just didn't let you in.
I don't know why. I just didn't.
Damn,
I mean,
those
but
bitch.
on the flip side,
Now I know why you were mean to them as a kid.
we were,
Speaking a secret language at the dinner table.
just being an asshole. But yeah, we were taught like very well spoken English, and the thing is that my father, he was like he's an older guy. He's like 78 now. So my father
Damn.
was like he was discriminated a lot and mistreated a lot for being Latino.
Yeah.
So when he was like raising us, like all of his kids basically, he made it a point that we spoke English very well. Like he was like, and this is funniest thing. This guy's like darker than me, and like one thing that he would be really proud of is like because he was very involved in like the local politics in New York City and our schooling and stuff. So he would like set up meetings and stuff with people. They would hear him talk, and I guess he liked the idea that they thought he was like a white guy. He would show up and he just looks like a fucking like a Native American.
Yeah. They didn't know he was a Native Rican.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, I mean,
So how long you been here?
I've been here since March of last year.
March of last year.
So it's been almost a year and a half. Because I started producing at Gnar Bar a month after I moved here.
Got it.
Started off as like a weekly show, and then became twice a week, then 3 days a week, then 5 days a week. Then I was just like, can we do it every day?
What
And
was
then let's do it
everybody
every
else
day.
doing at that place before you got there?
Well, there were other shows. There was one other show. So I initially came into Gnar Bar, helping out this comedian Derek Timful. I don't know if you know Derek.
No, I don't.
He's a cool dude. But yeah, he was. I came in with like some experience producing. I had been producing for like 2 years, basically since I started doing comedy, and I came in like as a co-producer. I showed up to the space. I was like, dude, this place is fucking dope. Like, we could turn this into like a really cool show, because he was running it as an open mic. And so then I was helping him out a little bit. He ended up like turning it into a show. But I just like, we were co-producing, but I was doing most of the work. So eventually it came to a point where I just talked to the bar manager and I was like, would it be possible for me to get my own night? Because we had a lot of disagreements of how things should be run. And then I got Tuesday. He was on Thursdays, and I got Tuesdays. And
It just went from there.
it went from there because, well, I was very dedicated to how I thought it would work best. So he was a little more kind of loose with how he was running things. And so I got like a few people together, and then we started producing. and we were just putting up like record numbers for the show there, like for like bar sales and turnout and stuff like that. And so it got to a point where on a Tuesday we were making more money for the bar than he was on a Thursday.
Oof.
So
On a college night.
yeah, exactly.
Dang.
So it was like, so then after that, like he just like, I felt like without my support, he kind of like just got overwhelmed and decided to step down from doing it. So then the bar manager approached me and was like, "Hey, Derek's not doing Thursdays anymore. But do you want to do another day here?" And first I was like, I feel like that would be kind of a dick move. But also I was like, I know
Hungry
that
like
I'm
the
producing
wolf.
quality. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can get another opportunity to produce more quality shows, then I'm going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Especially, this is not like, oh, I pinched him out of there. He stepped down.
You stepped down, yeah.
So the opportunity was open, and I would have rather have taken it rather than let somebody else take it. And then I kind of just build my reputation up with the bar to the point where they just like trusted me enough. And yeah, now we're doing it every day. Biggest problem I have now is just finding people to kind of help out and produce stuff, because I feel like I hold that place together sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very exhausting, but
Yeah.
been good.
Every day of the week, you got to take a fucking break, my dude. That's
I'm getting there now. I'm trying to do it now where I'm producing hands-on maybe 4 or 5 days a week max.
yeah. You come off as someone that really cares, but that will definitely over exude himself in the form of just being in it all the time. You got to give yourself a break.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm exhausted, but I love what I do. I'm very proud of what we've been able to
Yeah.
accomplish, and especially like nowadays, like we're getting some cool opportunities, and you know, the people that I'm working with, I've kind of learned to kind of comb through people that I think were better matches for what we're doing, who like believed in what I was doing and could actually take criticism and could understand and kind of level with me about shit. So now, you know, for the most part, people I'm working with, we're all on the same page, and we run a great fucking show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Only thing is I want to make more money doing it. I feel like there's missed potential to make money there, but in order to make the most out of it, I need the support of people who are going to do.
How would you make money? You get cut for the bar sales?
We were for a while. We were getting a flat rate from the bar. But then like the last manager who was working there kind of screwed up the accounting, and she was just power hungry, and she just messed things up, and we were getting paid like every single day for like a month and a half.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so everyone was getting paid, and it was good. But then after she got fired, the bar
They fired her because they were like, "You're paying comics."
No. Oh, dude, there is so much more to this. It was she like I said, she was kind of power hungry. She would mistreat us a bit, and like there were days where I was like trying to run my show normally, and then she'd come up and be like, "Oh no, I don't want you to use stamps anymore, so comics can get discounts." I was like, "But how then? How is the bartender supposed to know that they're comics?" She's like, "We know all the comics who come here," and
That's not
And I
true.
was like, well, "How does that work? What do you mean?" And then I would try to like kind of like rationalize it and defend myself, and she'd be like, "Why are you arguing with me? Don't argue with me."
Oh, I don't like that.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
that
I had
sucks.
to deal with that for like a month and a half before she was self-destructive enough that she fucking ended up getting fired.
Nice.
Yeah, which thank God. Fuck, dude. Like she was a nice person before she was in a position where she had authority over me.
That sucks.
Because the owners, I was directly like in with the owners. So like,
Yeah.
I think it was a jealousy thing.
Who
which-
owns Gnar Bar?
Huh?
Who owns Gnar Bar?
A couple of these like skater guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that the skateboards all over the wall, that didn't come from nothing.
No, it
That's-
didn't come from nothing. Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
think it's cool. It's badass. but
Do they
yeah.
own any other bars?
Yeah, they own they just opened this new place by Lake Travis called Wahoo's Fish Tacos.
Oh, cool.
And it's like a full bar and stuff, and they're really excited about that because it's going to be a huge moneymaker. It's in an area where there's like a lot of wealthy people.
Oh yeah, like Travis. Fuck.
Yeah. And I think that might even be Rogan's neighborhood. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's
But
up there.
but yeah, there's that, and then
You ever been by his house?
no, I haven't. No.
Yeah. I was on the lake like maybe 6 months ago, and we were just on the boat. And someone was like, "That's Rogan's house right there. It's like a fucking compound. It's crazy. It's so huge."
That's cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just right there. You could just literally swim on over when you're on the lake on a boat. But you'll probably get tased or something before you hit the
I'm sure that guy has some kind of armed security at his house.
full on security. If you try to bum rush Joe Rogan's house, someone's it might even be Joe Rogan that tackles you. That'd be funny. Yeah, that's a nice area though.
Yeah, no, it's a really beautiful area, and I got offered to produce a show out there one day at that venue, so I'm just trying to get everything together, wait till they get launched up, and then it's an outdoor thing, but I'm no stranger to outdoor stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it could be a great place. Just throw a good outdoor show and make some money, which
Yeah.
super important to me because I do this. I produce comedy shows more than I work.
Right.
Like I think I'm probably putting in like 60 hours a week producing. And I work like maybe 24 hours a week. So yeah.
Damn, you're out there hitting pavement, dude. Holy shit. That sounds
I'm
so
eating
tiring,
pavement.
dude. What's that?
It's more like I'm eating pavement.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
it's all gonna pay off.
Nah, it'll pay off. It'll be cool. The fact that you got on the KT crew is huge. That's great. That's a great place to be.
Just a matter of me just working hard and talking to the right people.
Yeah.
That's really, dude, comedy is just,
It's networking.
it's a big networking game.
I didn't, that's the biggest shock I experienced when I first started was getting into Creek, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do jokes. And then I started doing jokes that were doing well. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's all about who you know. That's really what it's coming down to. It's all about, oh, that guy knows that guy, and that guy runs a show, and this guy knows that guy, and that guy runs a show, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, I mean, that's everything.
That's part of it's networking is work.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't have like the most social people. I just love doing it. Personally, I love meeting new people and I love talking about my dreams, the future, opportunity, vision, all that shit.
It is good. Yeah.
I that's something I genuinely enjoy doing. But some people, it's not easy for them to get out and hang out at shows or do whatever.
I would say I'm one of those people. I do not like. Some people are like, you just got to be around shows and just stand near the booker and just get to. And it's like that sounds terrible, though. I don't want to do that because that just feels so grimy to get on a show. Yeah, it feels forced, right? It should be more natural. You think?
Should be more natural, but I spent my first couple years in comedy waiting to be discovered, and it's like that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
You gotta put in some fucking footwork.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, and it's like, like I said, I work in real estate currently, and real estate's the same way. You got to go out and you got to meet people. That's really the only way to do it. It's like you just can't expect shit to just land on your lap. You have to be going out.
Oh yeah, in that industry, you have to find people who want
to
fucking want to get like a house or something,
Yeah,
and I think all of the kind of skills that it takes to run like a bar show on 6th Street are skills that will make you so valuable as a comedian.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like barking or hosting or marketing or whatever, it's like all these things will only make you more valuable to have around.
Yeah. Barking is literally sales. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just selling them on seeing a show. And sometimes it's for tickets, sometimes it's free, but regardless, you're convincing people to come in. You know?
And I think it does translate to comedy because it is convincing, but it's also talking to someone in a way that they appreciate what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're offering, and then they're willing to follow you somewhere. Like there's a whole element to that I'm like, that sales and comedy are a lot alike. I think it's very interesting how connected they are. Because like I came from like phone sales, it was like my first job. And they would always be like, don't be the guy that everybody gets a call from. You want to be a little different. And so like when you get a phone call, if someone answers the phone and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just finished eating something, sorry. You're going to be like, oh, what? What's going on? And then you might stick around a little longer than someone that goes,
You gotta fucking fool them.
yeah, than someone that's like, hey, I'm with New Stats Corporation calling about the, you're going to hang up on that guy. But if someone was more genuine with that first one, there was a guy at my office who would do that first line every time. He would call and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just finishing eating something. 1 second. And then go into his intro. And that little moment, that little humanizing moment before his intro was enough to bring in, a couple more seconds and a couple more moments of rapport to like get a sale going. That to me reminds me a little bit of comedy, because it's like you're doing something, you're planting a nugget to keep them invested so that you can get your punchline out. You know what I mean? There's some kind of parallel there. And yeah, same thing with barking though, I think.
It's like persuasion and seducing.
Seducing, yes.
Like seducing as just like a general term doesn't mean you're necessarily trying to fuck somebody.
Yeah.
But it's more like winning people over.
Yes. And I think a humanized moment like that is very, people go, oh, okay, yeah, I've done that. I understand that. That makes sense. It's relatable, just like comedy. It's a little relatable moment. There was a guy at my company, and he got a sale. The guy on the phone was like, I think we're going to pass. We're not going to buy the product. I'm sorry. And the guy literally just went, come on, dude. And he says, come on. You guys have the budget. Come on. And the guy goes, all right, yeah, we'll do it. That's hilarious. Isn't that crazy? Like, dude,
my roommate works in does debt consolidation.
Yeah,
and it's the wildest conversations he has with people he's trying to sell this to. He's like, look, I can't give you a loan. I can't do anything. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you rebuild your credit. So honestly, you're being pretty fucking stupid if you're just going to keep doing this. You're going to keep missing your payments and fucking getting more and more in debt. Why are you going to do that? That's dumb. If you're really not interested, then we can end the phone call now. But I'm telling you, you should really consider doing this.
That shit works, man. It works. It's because it's real. It's so fucking real that you even though you want to hang up, you're like, fuck, dude, he's right. Yeah. He's right. And it's, again, like comedy. There's just truth. There's so much truth there that you have to pay attention. But there are some people that do sales so sleazy, though, and it's terrible. They give it a bad rap. But that was like most of my 20s was just doing sales. I loved it. But I just couldn't keep it up.
It's exhausting, man.
Yeah.
It's very exhausting. You just got to bring a fresh attitude with every person. You're trying to get to know them and kind of pick them apart so that you can guarantee the sale. That's what your job is. And you can wrap that in as many fucking flowers as you want to. You can try to sugarcoat that, but really you're trying to secure the sale.
Have you done sales?
I've done a little bit of sales. Mostly I've just worked in restaurants like as like a server and stuff, which is a very low level kind of sales.
Right.
Like you could sell people on like drinks or appetizers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would do well in sales.
Yeah, I think you would. You seem to be very no nonsense, which is good. You get sales is interesting. Like there's people that do super super well, and then there's people that do average, and then there's people that just cannot do it at all. It's very cut in that way. There's no. And the people that do exceptionally well, they're a lot like actors or even comics. They have a way of talking that's persuasive.
They're charismatic.
They're charismatic, exactly.
Charismatic, I forget, where am I going with this? Charisma is like, if you break down what the definition of it is, it's being charismatic it's vaguely like to be like God, where people look at you like you're amazing, you're this like powerful person, like they look at you in a light like you're not even a person anymore. You're just so incredible. You know what I mean? And I forget. I think it's the root word that it comes from that, because like even if you go like if you're talking biblical, Jesus was extremely charismatic. That's why he had so many followers. I'm like, yeah, sure, he was performing miracles and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if Jesus was just like, oh, look, I turned water into wine, and then he was just like, that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
They'd be like, which?
Yeah. That could have gone the wrong way for him.
So I'm saying is like being charismatic is such a powerful tool to have.
There's a bit in there with Jesus getting just like
Jesus
stoned.
having no riz.
Yeah, having no riz, and they're like, "This guy's a witch. Burn him at the stake, dude." That's funny.
Which they crucified him, so clearly the charisma didn't.
Yeah, I
help
guess he
that
didn't.
much.
I guess, dude, maybe he wasn't charismatic at
Maybe
all.
he wasn't.
Yeah, he was like water into wine, right? And they just kill him. It's not
Man,
good.
fuck that guy. That's not our Messiah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true though. There's some people that have an aura that's like, damn, this person is just levitating. But it's a scary thing when you see someone.
People get enamored, dude.
Yeah.
If you can like some barkers like Chase, for example, like it's like he can get men or women to just like listen to him and get excited to talk to him, just to be around him, because he has such a likable like energy, and he knows how to talk to people and kind of poke their buttons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, they literally are like, and when I say enamored, I mean it's like almost like they're infatuated with this character he's putting on. You know, and that's enough. And that's kind of what like Charles Manson did, you know? Like
That's what I was gonna say. The scary thing about charisma is when you see someone with charisma, but you feel like a bit of darkness in there. You know what I mean? You ever meet someone with charisma that feels as if they want to take something from you with how good they are at talking? It's kind of creepy.
you can tell when the dust settles.
Yeah. Like after a while. Yeah.
Like I could tell when the light in their eye dies when they start talking to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I can see that you have an ulterior motive, which most people do.
Most people do. But it feels even more hidden away with them. It feels even more buried.
Yeah.
And and you get a sense of like, oof, this person is trying to get something from me. I don't know what it is. But that's always a scary person to talk to. But sometimes they trick people. They trick a lot of people. And people fall for it all the time. It's like, oof. Like those guys who go on Tinder and convince women that they're billionaires. Have you seen that?
No, is that a thing?
That was a whole TV show. It was crazy. This one guy, amazing what he did. Went on Tinder, matched with a girl, 50 years old. He was 25. He's taking photos of him in a private jet, all staged. He got like one of those things you can pay like for taking selfies in private jets. He did a bunch of those in different outfits. He'd be like, I'm going to Bali this weekend. I'm going to Paris. I'm going here. And then after a while, he would build trust and love until eventually it would turn into, hey, we had a little mix-up in some investments we made, yada, yada, yada. Basically, I need you to front me 20 grand, and then I'll give it right back to you. I'll get my accountant.
So he was scamming people.
He was scamming people.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they call him the Twinder Swindler. That's what it was.
The Tinder swindler?
Tinder Swindler. There was a whole Netflix movie that came out about the guy. He took millions from hundreds of different girls.
That's insane.
Like, and again, they would give him money thinking, oh, he's a billionaire. He's just going to give it right back. And then he didn't do it.
And then he was just gone.
And he was just gone. Well, they never even met the guy. They never even meet. They're all texting, chatting.
Oh, that's wild.
But he was so good at convincing them that they're building love and trust and all this shit that they would fucking do it. And he was so good at convincing them that he had money. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. I could never do that to somebody. But I don't know. You still good on time? We got 2 hours. You want to keep going? We can keep going if you want. I don't know if you got a deadline or what. I'm just getting a vibe check. We can keep going.
What time is it? My phone died.
4:40.
4:40. Yeah, I think I'm good.
You think you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. He's good.
Yeah, I'm just kind of tired, to be honest with you.
All good, man. We'll call it. That was it. Peace. All right.